guessing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that,
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Don't matter who did what to who at this point. Fact is, we went to war, and now there ain't no going back. I mean, shit, it's what war is, you know? Once you in it, you in it. If it's a lie, then we fight on that lie. But we gotta fight.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Welcome. And now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's poppin'? Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live, man. As always, shout out to the fam, the faithful. Much love to everybody, man. We up in this thing representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. And despite the fact that we're currently not a playoff team, the nation is still very mighty, despite what is being happening, the circumstances around, and strong as well, based on also the current situation that occurred down on Bourbon Street. And like we've been saying, man, prayers and blessings to all those, man. I think this is the first coma that we've done since that situation occurred, man. And listen, man, just be rightfully on guard at all times, fam. This is the world that we're living in now, and we have to make sure that you're in a constant state of vigilance. Keep your heads on a swivel. Check out for each other. Look out for each other, man, out there, man. It is just the reality of the world we're currently living in. So big ups to you guys. Much love to everybody. I mean, all you guys out there. I hope you guys are having a terrific weekend as we get going. I was supposed to do a stream on Friday, just got hamstrung, fam, doing other stuff, but man, I'm in here tonight breaking it down with you guys, so I appreciate you for being in the live. So big ups to the fam, much love. Hit that like button for me as we get going. I see you, fam. Shout out to Arnold. Big ups to Arnold. Pelicans Nola. What's up, KK? Shout out to KK. Brother Taylor, how you doing, sir? Backwoods. All right, Young City, 9th Ward is in this thing. All right, Kalani says, how bad is our cap situation going into next year? Had to hit the button on that. It's a joke. It really is a joke, too. It's a joke. The current cap situation is a joke. The Saints are currently roughly $60 million in the red right now, my friend. That's right. 60 million. You're well ahead of everybody else. And I mean every damn body else. I'm trying to get this damn mic together here. It's crazy today. I don't know what's going on with my mic. Well, big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the live, man. Yes, 60 million. You're currently $60 million in the red. And I didn't do it, and you didn't do it. Who did it? You know who did it, don't you? We know. What's up, OG? OG Jerry in the building. Mad Drummer, big ups to you, sir. Appreciate you. Brother Clint's in this thing as well. Much love. Good to see you out there, fam. 504 Co says Q. They got reports saying Matt Nagy will interview. How you feel about that? Well, I mean, I'm not really excited about Matt Nagy, but hey, man, you interview as many people as you can and see what they're sounding like, I'm for it, the interview like, let's get these guys in, let's talk to them, see what they got going on. Not really enthused about Matt Nagy. I didn't like what he did with the Bears when he got an opportunity to be the man. He really fell on his face. But then again, don't most Chicago Bears head coaches just, I mean, I ain't trying to disparage my Bears people, but am I not speaking truth? I mean, what Bear head coach that we had of recent years have done a phenomenal job with anything Chicago has going on up there? They just can't seem to sustain winning. Is what it is, right? I think the last respectable coach they had wasn't Ron Rivera the head coach up there. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Bear guy. I'm a Saint man. But I think Riverboat Ryan, wasn't he up there as a head coach? Wasn't that the last time they had any decent stuff going on over? So that could be skewed because he was the offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. So he carries a lot of Andy Reid's principles, moving forward, which would, in my book, would welcome a interview. Because like I told you, Cliff Kingsbury is interested in becoming a coach again. He has a good offensive philosophy as well. And we need to get these guys in to listen to him. But here, fam, I'm going to go through the preview of the Saints and Bucs, and then we'll cross over into some of this news pertaining to the Saints head coach, some of them that we've had kind of been able to pull up articles on. So big ups to you guys as well. What's up, Molly? She says Mickey about to screw up the coaching search. We still got, and that's the thing, man. It's a lot of pressure on Gail Benson to do something different, because how you gonna turn the keys of the bus over to the guy that wrecked the bus and don't even believe he had it? Well, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. That goddamn pole just jumped out there in front of me. So I mean, how are you supposed to turn the team over to a person who didn't think they failed? Deep down in their own mind is saying, man, Gail, she fired Dennis. If she would have held on, we would have been all right. We would have been all right. This literally is the thought process in this guy's head. That's why he was fighting so hard for him not to get fired. He thought it wasn't Dennis Allen. It was the injuries that stopped the team. That is what he literally believes. And you're going to turn the keys over to that guy to fix the team? It's a joke. And none of this is terribly complicated, but it is if you don't know what you're doing. You see? This is true talk, man. If anybody know the New Orleans Saints, it's you and me. We know, because we have an opportunity to look this team up and down and in and all around. We know exactly where the problems hide at, exactly where they are. There is no guesswork here. We've deciphered the Saints. We've literally put the Saints under a microscope and literally taken them apart. We know exactly why the team is failing. We know what's going on with the team, backwards and forwards, in and around, in all kind of ways. We know exactly what the problem is with the Saints. So why don't they know that? Because you're dealing with a person that needs to hear these things and take it seriously. You can't be, they're too attached to these individuals, and that's a problem. It has to come down to success. The guy's been here too long, and it's time for him to go. This is a young person's game when it gets to a point. You put in 20-some odd years of service, hasta la vista. Move the hell on. Let's get somebody else, or at least let the general manager be somebody else, being that you have another job. What's the problem there? And it's such a supreme opportunity for Loomis to do this, because Gail doesn't know, or Lauscher doesn't know. And I'm so happy that the people are putting Lauscher's feet to the fire, because I don't think that ever was done before. I've been hitting and throwing at Lauscher for the last 2 years. Prior to that, people wasn't putting Lauscher even in there with Mickey Loomis. I kept telling people, listen, that guy has a boss. Put him in that flame too. And now you're starting to see it. And people are starting to look and say, you're right, man. I'm saying this guy has a boss, which means that guy is supposed to be keeping him accountable. Where was he at when all of the losing was happening? Where Mickey was tearing up the cap? Where was Lauscher at? You see? So I mean, it's not difficult to find out. It's a handful of people that's making these decisions, and it's we done found out exactly who the person who's stealing the cookies or whatever. You see what I'm saying? All right. What's up, Antoinette? Shout out to Antoinette. Shout out to my queens out there, man. Good to see the ladies out there. Much love to y'all. Brother Farouk, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. Molly Mall. All right. What's up, Mr. Savage? How you doing, sir? Good to see you, my brother. Hope everything. What's up, Desi, baby? Shout out to Desi. Be kind. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. And Mr. O, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you, man. Brother Clint, he said, kick Loomis to the curb. Let a new that's bro. Listen, I'm asking for two things from the Saints organization, fam, and it's very simple. A lot of people not going to say this because obvious reasons, but I have no ties to the Saints. So I can say what the hell I want to say, like it or lump it. I don't have to worry about press passes and all this crap that you would tie these guys up with too, so they can't tell you, or being invited to dinners to sit down with the owner while the teams is falling through the floor. An attempt to sway my opinion. You see what I'm saying? I have none of that. I don't have any of these attachments. All I have is the truth and keeping it real. That's all I got. That's all I need. So I'm gonna keep hitting you 8 ways to Tuesday, and the message is growing and growing. Only 2 things I'm requesting. Number 1, you take the general manager position away from Mickey Loomis and give it to Kai Hartley or somebody else that's credible. And number 2, replace Dennis Lauscher with a real football president of football operations that knows football on the field and from an exec level, speaking of terms of football, not money. Rebrand Lauscher something else and hire a real football head that oversees Mickey Loomis, Kai, and all those guys. 2 things, very simple. That those 2 things make your organization fresh, and it makes it higher IQ football wise. You don't even have to get rid of Mickey Loomis. I'm not even saying fire him from the vice president job or even firing Dennis Lauscher. I'm saying move them out the way and put guys there that can do those jobs. You can keep Lauscher if you love them that much, because they attach themselves to these people. And it's about wins and losses. It's supposed to be, unless you're making money, then your vision get clouded. And I'm telling the Saints people, your vision is clouded because you started making money. You made more money than you ever made as a franchise. We know, because we can see the money. That all that's out there as a public record. We can see how much money you've made over the years. And you've made more money over the last 10 plus years since you won that trophy than you ever made as an organization prior to. We know that. But at some point, it is our jobs to hold these people accountable, or they just keep doing the same thing. As long as they're making money, hell, they don't care. They don't care. They really don't. And that's today. And that's not just the Saints. That's a life as a professional franchise in the NFL. A lot of these organizations are spoiled. They get ridiculous amounts of tax money. Like even with Jerry Jones, we was having this discussion not too long ago about Jerry Jones's building, the Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, the big stadium in Arlington, the Palace in Dallas, as it's called. It's a misconception that the Palace in Dallas is is Jerry Jones' building. It is not. It is being paid for by the support base. And Jerry pays like $5 million or something like that per year for the right to use it. And then he has to pay a percentage. I forgot how much the percent, 3 to 5% on the naming rights deal he gets from AT&T to whatever, back to them. But it's a stadium that spent, I think it just 1.9, just under $2 billion at the time to be built. And that money is tax money, that's taxpayer money that built the buildings for them to make billions. So you can see it's not a fair step, but a lot of what happened and I'm really hoping that the next era of young people coming on scene can understand what this is and take it to the next level. Meaning, if you're going to use taxpayer money, there has to be something that you get a taxpayer back so that you making money off of us. You can't just say it's your team and there is no financial compliment that comes with that and you're getting money. That's not how this is supposed to work. If you're getting taxpayer money, you have to then give something back to the taxpayer That's an intelligent taxpayer. That's not a chump, a sucker, or a zealot, or a fanatic. That's a business person, a supporter that's doing business. You want this money, what you gonna give back in return? That's business. So another discussion. But at the end of the day, y'all see what I'm getting at here, right? That's just another level of accountability, of making these people accountable, because that is the climate in the NFL with most teams where they bank up off you. Just like what happened with the Bills. They trying to get a new stadium. That stadium is under construction currently, but they tried to pull a maneuver where they threatened to move the team to Toronto if the city or the state didn't give up the funds for a brand new stadium. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing they do everywhere. The Saints did that, tried to do that on us when they used San Antonio and said we were going to go play in the Alamo Dome if you don't give us what we want. So, I mean, in the end, just remember your history. And we just have to, as we move forward into this new age of things, higher awareness is needed, definitely. And not just in what we've seen, happen recently in the city, but more so just general, just higher awareness, period. No matter what, in relationships and business, I don't care. Wherever it is, just higher level up everything. You got what I'm saying, fam? Level up everything, because it's time to level up. It's time, it really is. All right, brother Taylor says, Q, are you in a class by yourself? He says, Q, you are in a class by yourself, brother. Nobody speaks about the real issues of Saints administration. Said, thank you, brother Taylor. I appreciate that, man. Much love, bro. Always supporting the stream. Thank you, sir. It's just the Great Saint Think Tank. The Great Saint Think Tank, my brother. We in here, we talking it, and that's the thing about the Great Saint Think Tank, is because they got it up here. They know what time it is, and they're not swayed by the foolishness and the nonsense. I'm a solution orientated person, which means I'm not going to sit up. If I see something's wrong, I'm not going to sit up here and focus on what's wrong. Right? We see it's an issue. Okay, it's a problem. Kick into the next mode, which is how do we solve the problem? Now you're in solution mode. Let's come up with a list of solutions and the practicality of using these solutions to solve whatever that issue is. That way we don't have to spend as much time being worriers. Let's get right to it. It's an issue. Let's nail it out, knock it out. That's the only way we're going to get anywhere. And let's be honest, time is of the essence. You don't get that time back out of everything. You can screw off money, you can screw off everything, a lot of stuff, right? But in the end, when you miss out on time, you miss out on a lot of things, especially in the NFL. We have players for the last 3.5 years that we've just totally blown the time on, because the inability to move effectively so we can be able to fix what's wrong and go on. We knew for years that Dennis Allen was the problem with the Saints, that he wasn't accountable, that he was a backstabber. He threw this team under the bus several times, caused problems in the locker room on how he handles situations, because he's not a person that you will want over the top of your team. The guy violate the rules. What he did with Spencer Rattler, making him the third string quarterback, so there'll be no competition or no pressure on Derek Carr, who was number one. So you use Jake Hayner as a buffer to do that and violate that type of stuff. All them players seen that too. They seen that too. I like, man, that's not how you run a team. Yeah, man, creating fractures in the locker room. Mickey Loomis not even paying attention. Just let it happen. And when we try to tell him about it, he got on his high horse. Told you, a lazy thing to do, with that nasty energy. Remember that? The easy thing to do, the lazy thing to do. Remember that? Oh, we got to have a change. Threw his hands up like that. And then begin to prattle off stuff about Hall of Fame coaches and this guy in the street. This guy talking about, man. Come on, you're wasting time. And that was the thing. And I guarantee you gonna them guys ain't gonna come out and say nothing about none of that. They're not gonna say, yeah, you know what, Big Q and the Great Saint Think Tank, the mighty Who Dat Nation, you guys were right about Dennis Allen. Don't you know? You guys were as right as rainwater about that. And I just like to tell you guys, I apologize, but we're gonna do better next time. You don't even get that. He gonna pretend like none of that happened. He might even give Dennis Allen more accolades. You see what I'm saying? It's just, and that's the problem. I can't turn the ship over, the keys of the boat or whatever you want to call it, over to a person. I don't even think they was wrong. Don't even see it. That guy don't have no vision. He shouldn't be leading nobody. He shouldn't be leading anything. He really shouldn't. So anyway, that's the two things that I reference about the whole Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis saga. This should never have happened. Don't y'all understand? They done wasted 3.5 years of our lives playing around with Dennis Allen. And we said it from the jump street. You might want to go find somebody else. You had the guy on the team for a decade. He's not coach material. You wasted resources and time and burned up a lot of the good remaining years of Cam, DeMario, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, and older veterans that were productive. You burned up 3.5 years of their remaining time playing around with this whole crap. You see? So it's a failure. That's number one. Let's not get it twisted. It is a failure before anything. And placation and excuse making and throwing religion in there with a thin veil of this, that, and the third is not how we're going to fix it. That's not how you fix the situation, by trying to CYA each other. That's a good guy over there. He's just such a shut up. You failed. That's the bottom. That's how I've come to it. You didn't get to the playoffs, you're a failure. Because we don't measure it anyway about this guy being a good guy or that guy. We don't care about any of that. Well, the harsh reality is, did you get to the playoffs? Yes or no? The answer is no, then you're a goddamn failure. That's what it is. And miss me with all this other stuff because you're getting paid to lose, which you should be embarrassed and hang your goddamn head. Don't bring no excuses around here. We're trying to fix something. We don't need placators and excuse makers and enablers. We're trying to fix something here, man. We're trying to fix something so we can get to the next level because we wasted enough time on losing. That's the truth. That's the God honest truth. And we need to hear that. As soon as we hear that, we can get back to handling the business that need to be made. 100%. Am I right? Put a 100 in the chat, fam. 100%. Come on now. Put 100% in the chat if I'm talking facts, man. Come on. We done wasted enough time. Let's get to winning. What's up, Giovanni? Shout out to you, fam. I see y'all, man. Yeah. Mr. Savage said, I told you, brother. Ford is $60 million in the red right now, fam. $60 million in the red with Mickey Loomis. But see, it's a point. It's like people when they watch too many shoot 'em up movies or action movies, right? You become to a degree desensitized about what you're seeing on screen, right? You become desensitized. It's the same thing with the same salary cap situation. The Saints, it's 60 million this year, right? And you'd be like, oh, that's nothing. You'll say that's nothing based on the fact the previous year you were 80 million. And a year before that, you were $100 million in the cap. So you cap desensitized. And not to mention that 60 million that you're in the red is way above the second team. You're head and shoulders above the second team. That's how bad this situation is from a cap standpoint. We become cap desensitized thanks to Loomis. We were $100 million over the cap several years ago. Last year was 80. This year is 60. It's crazy, isn't it? But that's God's honest truth. You look at the second team, the Saints head and shoulders above the second team in the NFL. But Demario Davis saying that we draft well. You don't know what you're talking about, man. No, you don't draft well. If we drafted well, we wouldn't be having some of the issues that we're having. Because drafting is one thing, but you also then have to take the guys you draft and then accumulate them into the system successfully. We didn't do that with Zach Bowen, but Philly's doing it. They traded 2 picks to go and get Zach Bowen, then don't play him right the whole year, and then trade him. Well, he left via free agency. And look how he's doing with Philadelphia, turning it up. He their best acquisition. Damn near their best defensive player, if not their best defensive player. How we messed that one up if we draft well? And it's not about just drafting. You have to take these guys, and you only have a certain amount of time to do this. Soon as you get them, you got to plug them in and see what they're hitting on. Then you make whatever tweaks you need to make. And if they ain't learning, get their asses out of here, man. Listen, it sounds cold and cruel, but you got them for 4 years. Your first round draft picks, if you're keeping them, Some of the times we've picked 4 years at the least, and with the option on the 5th year, and most of the time they don't pay the option. That happened recently with your boy with Peyton Turner. The Saints said, "Nah, we ain't gonna pay that option," because I think it was like in the double digits. But Peyton Turner's another one. Davenport's another one. You're not hitting like you're supposed to be hitting, and then you're not utilizing these guys to their potential. And then you're not also the ones that make sense. You're not signing them right away to come back on deals that'll be friendly to the team. They look well, you got to give them theirs. They're gonna want to get their money, they deserve it. So what do? You know. So this is a part of it. I mean, the one thing I could say the Saints are consistently doing well is hitting in an undrafted market. They do that well. Most of the players, that's how they save a lot of money, because they hit well. A lot of starters are undrafted guys. Juwan Johnson, the tight end, undrafted. JT Gray, the special teams ace, undrafted. Rashid Shaheed, big time undrafted guy who got broke off. They save a lot of money with these guys. So they hitting in the undrafted ranks. Carl Granderson, he's another huge one. See, the Saints hit undrafted. They don't hit on the draft, not like they're supposed to. They hit on the undrafted guys, but the free agents is also another hit or miss mix. Like, I do like MVS later on in the year. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Hopefully they keep these guys. I like the Chase Young acquisition. I do like that. But when you get to guys like Marcus May and people like that, dude, you keep it moving on that, Playboy. But anyway, that's what I'm saying on that, man. It is what it. Yeah. Right. Max says he would have been a Pro Bowl if you're right. Absolutely. But that's the real deal. What's up, Can You to you? What's up, Jack? Big ups to Jack, man. Good to see you, brother Trey. Much love, Trey. Good to see you, fam. Inevitable, I see you, fam. Big ups to you as well. DGX, big ups to you, man. Much love. Good to see y'all, man, in the building as well, man. Appreciate y'all stopping by tonight to talk a little black and gold with your guy. Saints for Life says Luma's bringing in another loser coach in Matt Nagy. And far interview, Mike McCarthy hasn't done zero in so many years, but feels comfortable with these guys, and it's pure sanity. I mean, and also it's how does because you look at the resumes of some of these guys, the Saints dropped the bar so low with the Dennis Allen thing, man. It's just, I mean, I'm not surprised about some of these guys. And most of the time, let's listen to them, right? Let's see who these guys are, because they brought in Doug Peterson, was the first guy they brought in last year, and Dougie P ended up going to Jacksonville. He probably going to end up getting fired this year because Jags ain't doing so good from him being. He got hired the same year Dennis Allen, so he more than likely going to be out the door too. But a lot of these guys have a grander resume than what a Dennis Allen had. You know what I mean? As a head coach, a lot of these guys had head coaching experience. And you look at McCarthy and say, well, why did he fail, or why did he look like what he looked? Did he not have the control that he needed of the Dallas? And we know what time it is with the Cowboys. That's Jerry Jones running all that, and his son is his puppet, and that general manager out there is a puppet too. And there is no winning that's going to happen in Dallas unless Jerry Jones has his hands on it. He wants credit for everything. He's like a supercharged David Griffin, who's the VP of the Pelicans. If it's any success there, he wants it. And now he done got to the point where he ain't even really pushing or care about winning championships because he's making money. So it's like, man, this is too hard to fight for free agents to come here. Well, how you turn that team out there? You don't even have a starting level running back to put back there for Dak Prescott, man. Come on. Who is Dardell? Zeke Elliott? Really? You don't try to go and get the dude Barkley from whatchamacallit? He could have wrestled them away from Philly. I mean, before the Giants, you get what I'm saying? The Giants were willing to trade him to the Eagles. The Cowboys could have got that. They could have got that. Why you ain't get that? You see what I'm saying? Man, come on. Sometimes your owner can stop you from winning too, because they'll tell you some shit. But in the end, most of these guys, they're all about the money. And that's why my Dallas people that listen to the show, I'm telling y'all need to get hardcore like we getting over here, or you going to keep going through that stuff. You got to force these guys to listen, because they don't see you or hear you because they see the money and they hear the money in their ears. You got to stop going over there. You got to break them down monetarily. because you know they see the money. You got to decrease the money for them to pay attention. And then it resets them and say, oh, shit, these people, they serious. That's what happened with Dennis Allen. The heat got so much so that she had to fire that guy over the VP and general manager of the team, telling him, you have to run the team to a degree. You're going to have to do it. A lot of people don't come up out of that zealot stuff, but you're going to have to put them colors down and stop going to that game. You got to show these people, because all you doing going there is showing them that you like abuse. Stop going. You're going to have to get hardcore like the Who Dat Nation. That's what you're going to have to do. Are you ready? Because we've been ready. We went through 4 years of funk and stink, and we're not going there no more. We're not doing it. That's I tell all of these people that's going through the same, you're going to have to, you got the man up here and woman up or whatever you want to call it. You better get your stuff straight and get on code. Put them colors down, man. Stop going down there and man up and start putting your demands in. Let them feel it in their pocket. That's the only thing that get these people right, because they don't see you, they see the money, and then they see you if they don't see the money. You get what I'm saying on that? All right, so anyway, man, that's game, man. Let's keep it going, man, and keep it moving. Mr. O says the coach will take a chance on the Saints despite cap issues, QB and player roster. Only 32 jobs. Indeed, bro. Some of the ones that got options, bro, that's like the boss. You know, if you're a person that got something going on for yourself, right? You got your own cars and house, a home or whatever it is. You got your money's right and all that. A person like that is gonna have some options. You get what I'm getting at? They're gonna have some options. A boss person is going to have some options. It is, because you see too much of the opposite everywhere, and the opposite is aplenty. But when you have a rarity like a person that got this stuff together, that's about the business, that's consistent, that's persistent, somebody that's a factor, we have that ain't a lot. And usually that type of thing makes you a rarity. And a person like that is always going to have options. They're going to have options. Regardless, they're going to have options. So if that, and how I equate that to the Saints situation is, if you're a head coach that's wanted, like Johnson from the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, he's going to have his bits and chooses of where he wants to go, right? He's going to have his choice, because him and Coach Glenn, both of those guys are sought after. Those guys can pick whatever place they want to go to. They don't have to be a Dennis Allen or a Willie Green. You know, they know they're not going to be a coach nowhere else, because nobody don't want them. They're going to just take another person's staff. And that was a report that some of these coaches that he wants to keep some of these coaches. This is what David Griffin did for the Pelicans. That's how he ended up with Willie Green. See, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this, man. That's why Jacques Vaughn, Jamal Mosley, these all pro basketball coaches that having really good success in other places, who were options for the New Orleans Pelicans, because the Pelicans are now giving the Saints the blueprint on how to look for potential coaches. The only reason Willie Green is here is because, number one, he was cheap. Number two is he decided to do something that the rest of the coaches did not and would not do. That was to take assistant coaches that were already under contract, take them onto his staff with him. And is that what the Saints going to do? I most certainly hope not. Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? That right there in itself is ridiculous. And why would you do that? Because you're looking at the money. You should not shackle another man's coaches to a man coming in, unless he says, like, I want to keep that guy. He'll make the decision, not you. You see, we've seen this before. It happened with the Pelicans, and it didn't work. The Pelicans are 6-29 right now. Let me hit the laugh button. It really ain't no joke.
That is completely psychotic.
It is, because they're 6-29 right now. 6-29. So it didn't work for the Pelicans The cheap coach route, it didn't work for the Pelicans. I don't think it works for the Saints. We need to stop following these dumb strategies, man. For real. Stop doing it. All right, anyway, let's keep it going. Let's hit this injury report. I do have some coaching news, fam. Let me hit this injury report. With the Saints. This is the Saints Buck Week 18 regular season finale. That means the last game of the year. Saints Bucks. Bucks need this game to clinch. It's either a win or a tie, and they're in. The Atlanta fail kinds, as Brother Jerry calls them, also needs the Saints to help them out. They need to win against Carolina, who Tampa Bay just beat last week. They need to beat Carolina, and the Saints need to take care of the Buccaneers for the Falcons to have an opportunity to get in. Huh? 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 And if Falcon people thinking we're going to help you out on that, not because we don't want to, because we can't. The Saints don't even have a running attack, and it's going to be difficult for them to pull that off. So, but the reality is, it might be a game, it might not. But based on the last two games, it ain't looking good for the away team, right? Seriously. But anyway, here we go, fam. The injury report right here. This is the last one they hit us with, which was Week 18 with the Saints. We know Derek Carr is out for the rest of the season. Elvin Kamara is listed as doubtful, which is pretty much a game time decision. I think Elvin Kamara does play, fam. I'm going to just be honest with you here. I think Elvin Kamara gets in there, and I think he plays a little bit. He wants to get the 50-odd yards to get 1,000 on the year. If he was out, they would have just hit him with the out. They made it doubtful as a game time decision. And I think this is done to kind of provide leeway where he'll have an opportunity to get in there and get his 1,000 yards. And, as long as he's healthy, I'm good with that. He missed the last couple of games with the injury, and I'm not mad at AK, but trying to get that 1,000 yards, man, it means a lot to him. Kendre Miller is out. Concussion protocol, wasn't able to clear. So he ends the year on the injury list. Peyton Turner, Pete Werner was listed as, I seen another report that said Pete Werner was out. They have him listed as questionable here, but we'll see what's going on. Jawan Johnson's also questionable. He's dealing with a knee. Marquez Valdez-Scantling will play in a game coming with the chest issue. Chris Olave, from what I heard, he was listed as questionable, and Willie Gay Jr. is also questionable. I'm hearing Chris Olave is shut down too. So we'll see what it is officially when, the rumor mill is saying these things, but we won't know it officially until we get the word on game day, which is, tomorrow. We'll get the word on what happens there. Then we'll know for sure, what it is. But on the street, Chris Olave is they're saying he's shut down, as well as Pete Werner. We'll see. We'll see. All right, officially. All right, so Tampa Bay, who they got going on? Jamal Dean is out. The defensive back is out. Tight end Payne Durham is going to play. Cade Otton is doubtful. He's the second leading catcher, I think, receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's doubtful. Antoine Winfield is out for this game with a knee issue as well. Delvin Culp, the tight end, is there. Mike Evans is good as well. Defensive lineman William Golston is a game time decision. Bucky Irvin, who's their 1,000-yard running back this year, should be good to go. Game time decision for Sterling Shepard, the wide receiver. Tight end Tristan Wilson is good. Linebacker Levante David should be good to go for the Bucs. And like I said, the Buccaneers, they're playing for something, right? And we could play role of spoilers or whatever you want to call it there. And I know the Saints going into it with the mindset that they want to win this game. They want to win the game, and, we'll see. I'll just give you my breakdown momentarily. But let's hit the transaction report right here. Chris Olave and Pete Werner ruled out, and this is the notification right here, the transaction alert. Saints have elevated standard practice safety Millard Bradford and running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the active roster for Sunday's game at Tampa. Additionally, the team has ruled out, here it is, Chris Olave and linebacker Pete Werner for the game. So that's your official right there, and then we'll get the list of healthy scratches or the healthy inactives before game time or sometimes during tomorrow morning for the Saints. So, like we always do, we'll cover it on the show. All right, let's move into this one right here, fam. Next article right here by John DeShacher. Shout out to John. Key ingredients to victory: Saints versus the Buccaneers, week number 18. Let's talk about it. Season finale presents one last chance for the Saints, who are 5-11, to show a version of the best selves against the 9-7 Bucs on Sunday at Raymond James Stadium. Right? It won't be easy. The Buccaneers need to win to guarantee its 4th consecutive NFC South Division title. 4 consecutive times the Buccaneers have won. If they win, this will be the 2nd time in the post Tom Brady era. Baker Mayfield comes in and they win it back to back. Incompetence by the Saints organization. Shouldn't have happened. This was all in their hands and they fumbled it away like so many other things. Total incompetence. Number 1, what's the keys here? Show up. That's big. Because you shouldn't have to tell a professional team to show up, right? Because they're getting paid to show up. But, when teams are 5-11, I guess so, right? The Saints players and coaches have all but guaranteed they won't be going through the motions in the game with no playoff implications for the franchise. But that's easier said than done. In addition to the season ending, the Saints have had the week to deal with the peripheral emotions affiliated with the attacks, right, in New Orleans. So the fact that they'll enter yet another game with several key players, including Kamara, Derek Carr, and Senator McCoy likely out due to injury, the notion of tapping out could be strong. So the Saints must tap into their professionalism and into the fact that if they don't show up and the Buccaneers are looking to clinch the division title at their expense, the result could be an embarrassing one. And John DeShacher is a true professional, right? Because he's trying to pull from the Saints morally to be professionals, right? And we've been trying to get them to do that all season long. We've been trying to write y'all. We've been trying to get these damn people to do something professional. Yeah. It's not professional to go up there and get blanked by the Green Bay Packers. It's not professional to lose and get scored on 25 points by the Raiders, a team that came into your building with 3 wins and get beat that bad by the Raiders. Where's the professionalism? But I ain't see any lack of effort. Let me tell you something, guys. Ain't no lack of effort. No phenomenal lack of phenomenal effort. All I seen was phenomenal effort. I didn't see any lack of effort. Wait, what? What?
What?
I know. What? But anyway, that's all we've been trying to get them to do, Brother John, is show some professionalism here. To show some professionalism here. And play like you got some kahunas. Play like you representing a proud, strong support base in the Who Dat Nation. Play. We're paying you to play. Show up and show out. Let's see if they can do that in the final finale, right? In somebody else's building, right? 4 quarters. In 2 of the previous 3 games, the Saints have had a problem constructing 4 productive quarters, not playing a full drive. That would tie into not showing up. Because if you show up, you show out, you get the dub, right? Or you get close, you might lose the game close, but you showing up, the other team might want it a little bit better. And you go wire to wire, they get you. That's fine. We cool with that. You tried your hardest, the other team just had it, but not these last 2 outings. This is, what part of the game is that? But I guarantee not one of them dudes gave a check back, especially on offense. New Orleans was good in the second half of its loss to Washington, good in the first half of the loss to the Raiders, and play of rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler reflected that, but wasn't good enough in either half of a loss to the Packers, and Rattler's production reflected that too. It's going to need a solid performance throughout the Sunday from all 3 units, offensive, defense, and the special team, to finish the season with a satisfying result. Well said by John DeShacher, right? He says the Saints was good in the second half of the Washington loss, right? He basically put together 4 You was good. You were good in the second half of the Commanders game, right? And in that one, and the player, the quarterback, special reflected that. He said it's good, but see, it's just crazy, man. Because he said, but wasn't good in either half of the loss to the Packers, and And then he talked about the Raiders game too. So no, am I expecting this? We'll talk about this in a second. Bow up. Let's show some cojones. When you allow 139 rushing yards per game, as New Orleans does, every opponent is going to pursue that avenue because, well, why wouldn't they? The Saints have 7 games in which they allowed us at least 137 rushing yards. And in the last 5 games, opponent has averaged 150 yards on the Saints defense. Last 3 games. That is well within the curtain or the fence of since Joe Woods has taken over the team. So we're seeing a lot of the positive things defensively the Saints were doing in stopping the run, right? We've seen that dissipate. We've also seen the Saints, to a degree, especially in the Raiders game, lose the pressure angle of putting pressure on the opposing quarterback. Aiden O'Connell was able to stand back there and just throw the ball around and gain rhythm. And that's what they were able to do. But but this is the thing. It's saying in the last 5 games, opponents averaged $150. Linebacker Demario Davis has topped 100 tackles for the 8th straight season with 9 tackles. He'll set a career high for 136. Don't mean nothing to me unless it comes with a win. That's what Cam thought process, and I'm probably sure he feels the same way. He'll have to say in how much Tampa rookie running back Bucky Irvin adds to his team leading totals of over 1,000 yards rushing with 7 touchdowns. Bucky Irvin has been quite the help for them, right? We thought it was Rashad White that'd be the guy, but Bucky Irvin really kind of helped keep their offense balanced. Create the hate. What do you mean? Let's face it, they're going to be a little something missing from Sunday's game since Marshawn isn't on the field to match up against Mike Evans. This is true. The former Saints cornerback who was traded to Washington and the Buccaneers receiver had some physical, cantankerous matchups over the years as the two often lined up against each other. If that duty falls to cornerback Alante Taylor, he better be ready for it. Evans, who has 11 touchdown catches, is 85 yards short of reaching 1,000 receiving yards for the 11th consecutive season. He holds the NFL record for 1,000-yard seasons to open a career with 10. The Bucs would love to add this to his resume, just 85 yards shy of it. This was a very good point because, remember, we would have Marshawn Lattimore, a.k.a. the blanket. You just throw him, and he just covered, period, Mike Evans, and neutralized a lot of that from Mike Evans, their best wide receiver, best offensive weapon, option 1, number 1 option for their offense, right? We put Laddie Daddy on them, it's over with. You get production from Goodwin. It'll be either Goodwin or the tight end or the third wide receiver, who it is, or the guy out the backfield, right? The running back. Laddie Daddy ain't here no more. Alante Taylor will now have to take on Mike Evans. That's going to be interesting, fam. That was a good observation. No more Laddie Daddy, no more blankets. You got Alante Taylor doing this. And we hopefully he does that a lot, but he's been getting his issue. That Raider wide receiver gave him some issues last game. Mike Evans is looking for something, man. This team's going to be playing for a playoff berth. That's going to be a good test to see how Alante does against Mike Evans. Shake Baker. If the Saints can't discombobulate Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield, it's going to be a long day on defense. A few opponents have done that this season. Mayfield is completing almost 72% of his passes, almost 4,300 yards, and 39 touchdowns with 5 picks. Boy, oh boy, does the Baker Mayfield signing look a lot different than the Derek Carr signing. My goodness. They got Baker Mayfield on that contract, right after Tom Brady left. Man, total difference here. We know he's just one part, even though he's an important part. But boy, has this looked drastically different when you're looking at 2 division rivals, right? 2 teams in NFC South going in 2 separate directions. The Bucs working on a 4th straight NFC South crown, and the Saints working on their 4th straight 9 playoff year. 2 separate, literally 2 separate directions. And many different things. So I got to credit the Bucs for being smart on what they did. This Baker Mayfield signing, man, has worked out to perfection. This guy almost has 40 touchdowns, family. He has almost 4,300 yards on the season and almost 40 touchdowns, right? You know, got to look at it. All right, he says he's in MVP conversation level numbers in most seasons. He's sacked 39 times and has a fumble the league leading 13 times, but he has only lost 2 of them. New Orleans must pressure him and force a turnover or 2. You're not so much even so on the Saints side of things in terms of what they got to do. That's a strong point. I'm more concerned about the offensive side as we gonna move forward into some of the stats to get more familiar with some of these people. As you can see, Baker Mayfield. Let me get on out the way so y'all can see the full stat story. Hold on here, fam. Get my damn on. So here we go. All right. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Taylor. Thank you, man. He says, BQ, nobody was talking about firing Mickey, but you. Now they must be listening to you. I've been talking at him for, what is it now? Over a decade now. Yeah, brother. But yeah, the whole Mickey Loomis thing, man, that's where it's going. There would be no Dennis Allen if it was for Mickey Loomis. But Dennis Lauscher needs to be put in that mix too. That's Mickey's boss, and that's the pecking order. If we're talking Gill and we're talking Loomis, in between there is Lauscher. He needs to be added to there too. And when people really start digging into Dennis Lauscher and his role with the Saints, they'd be like, hold on. So everything is for Mickey Loomis. All of the top decisions are Mickey Loomis making? And the answer is yes. They even trusted him with all that other guy don't even know about football like that. And I had to play y'all that interview so y'all can hear. It hits differently when you hear it from their mouths. The football stuff. You don't do all the football stuff. The football stuff is the stuff that makes us win. Like forcing Mickey to be accountable, making him do evaluations, or taking a position away from him, saying, you know what, Mickey, you can keep the VP, but I'm going to let Kai be the general manager. He does that, I'll be happy. I really would. Just that one move would be just stellar and groundbreaking for a dinosaur, archaic thinking ass Saint organization who are literally delusional and believing that they're heading in the right direction by entrusting the driving of the bus or the maintenance of said bus to the guy that tore it up and then totaled it. It's totally insane, not even knowing and realizing he's the saboteur of everything. How are you trusting the saboteur? The guy is the saboteur. But anyway, thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate you for that, man. And let's push it on, man. Listen, these are some of the stats Baker Mayfield. I just showed y'all some of Baker Mayfield's stats, man. He's having a hell of a year doing this thing, man, through 16 games, almost 4,300 yards passing. His completion percentage is 72%, averaging 8 yards per throw, 39 touchdowns versus 15 interceptions. That's kind of high, but still in all respectable. His rating is 107.6 on the season, right? Bucky Irvin has given them balance, right? The running back come in 16 games, 188 carries. He has this 1,000 yards rushing. 1,033 yards. He averages 5.5 yards per rush, has 7 touchdowns on the season, running touchdowns, that is. He averaged just under 65 yards rushing per, 64.6 yards rushing per game. Saints have really had issues stopping the run, and a lot of it's due to the fact that the offense has not been able to put up consistent drives to allow the defense to rest properly. So a lot of that falls on the Saints defense for them to just be out there on the field. Like we seeing production from the Saints defense where they were out there for like 40 minutes of a 60-minute game, or 20 or 35 or 30. You see what I'm saying? Because the Saints offense is so incompetent. They can't stay on the field even long enough to be able to rest up their defense. So it's been like, if you can't carry the water, somebody has to carry the water, and the defense is carrying the water in many of these games toward the back end of the season for the Saints offense, who are collecting a check for nothing. They are failing, especially from the offensive line standpoint. If these guys can't block, they shouldn't be on the team. Backups are starters. They shouldn't be on the team if they can't remember their plays and block properly. I have no patience and no chill on that. You're getting paid to play, player. Rashad White, who's the backup running back, who really was a starting running back at one time, 613 yards. He has 2 rush touchdowns. They like to combo those guys too. So, and also Sean Tucker, Remember, Sean Tucker was a guy that played against the Saints and got a lot of running yards the first time around. So the Saints just have to watch out for those guys there. You look at the receiver, Mike Evans, the point we just talked about with John DeShazer made a great point about Laddie Daddy being the guy. He's going. No more Laddie Daddy. That means Alante matching up with Mike Evans. Mike Evans trying to get another 1,000-yard season. As you can see, got 915 on 65 catches. He averages 14 yards per catch, has 11 touchdowns thus far. Second leading catcher of the ball for the team is 59 from Cade Otton, a tight end. I think Cade Otton has some type of injury. I don't know if he'll be able to play in the game. 59 catches for 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chris Godwin, who's a phenomenal compliment to Mike Evans, 50 catches, 576 yards. He played in 7 games so far in the season, dealt with a lot of injuries. He's the home run hitter, 11.5 yards per average there for catching it, 5 touchdowns on the season for them. And Shepard, who is their kind of guy they use, Shepard when he's there as the slot guy at times, 31 catches there. 51 from Rashad White out the backfield also helps out. So they spread with that. Those stats are showing you that that Baker Mayfield is spreading the ball around for the Tampa Bay team. They're 9-7. They need one more win to win 4 straight, man. And they're going to be going in there looking to get it. Levante David is their top guy, the veteran linebacker, 113 tackles on the year combined. Jordan Whitehead, the safety, 79 tackles, 76 from Zion McCollum. He's there. 75 from Christian Eisen is also there. And you look at the sack masters of the team, man. Not a lot of sack gotten by the team, but you see quite a few guys. 7.5 for Kalaja Cansey, 5.5 from Logan Hall, 5.5 from Levante David. I think he'll be banged up for this game. Yaya Diaby has 3.5 on this season so far. So, but their defense is so athletic and gifted, and they just move around a lot. The linebackers, they know how to use them. And even though this is not pristine, an excellent Tampa Bay that we used to seeing, like when they were really firing off, they still have people there that can give you some problems, right? And of course, the interception guy is Xylon McCullum. He has 2 picks on it. So we'll see how they handle this, man, going forward, man, and with the Saints, man. But at the end of the day, Saints got there from a defensive standpoint. They're going to have their hands full against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, man. They're good. They're going to have their hands full against this team. Here's the starting lineup right here, fam. Baker Mayfield there, Bucky Irvin, Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan with Sterling Shepard listed as questionable. There's this certain Chris Godwin who's out on IR. He's banged up, but they still some kind of way figure a way to move the ball, right? They really do move that ball, man. I ain't gonna lie. McMillan has a speed component to him. Ryan Miller's another little guy that was getting some catches for him. I remember him from the last game. And we see Sterling Shepard, who's listed as questionable as a game-time decision. Cade Otton is listed as doubtful, so Payne Durham and Delvin Culp, the backup tight ends, will have to help out there. Christian Woods, Bredesen, Barton, Mulch, and Godecki will be the offensive line, a pretty decent offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saints defensive line is going to have an issue trying to get through that, especially when you watch what happened in the Raiders game where we couldn't generate the kind of pressure we want. And I would like to say that their line, to me, is better. A lot better than what the Raiders had. Kalaja Cansey, Vita Vea, Logan Hall, and Yaya Diaby, these guys get after you, man. Levante David is there. JTS is another one of the phenomenal young players, these linebackers that can get after you. Shaq Barrett's on the team. So they got a few guys there. Jamal Dean's out, so you'll have another player that'll fill in for him, whether it's Josh Haynes or Thomas. We'll see what the call is. And Antoine Winfield is out of the game, so Kevon Merriweather will get an opportunity along with Mike Edwards there. It's the safety, McCullum and Tyke Smith, or he is the nickelback for the team. Chase McLaughlin and Jack Browning are kicker and punter options for this team. So, like I said, this is a motivated situation for the Saints. I mean, for the Buccaneers, actually, because they're playing for something the Saints, on the other hand, have struggled. So keys of victory, man. Let's talk keys for a second, fam, before we kind of move on, because this is not just it. We also want to talk about the head coaching news, several articles that's out. We'll cover that. But the keys to victory for the New Orleans Saints is, John DeShazer said it best. He said, "Show up," and he's watched them up close and personal, and know that the Saints. This is not. They're not even. And half the team shows up. Most of them guys don't know what they're doing. If we did the tape, the film work for the last matchup against the Raiders, and all I did outside of the initial first drive was I focused on the offensive series in the tape, just locking in just for the offensive series outside the initial first defensive series. We went all offense just to pay attention to what I think is the major problem for the Saints insofar as what they're dealing with, and that is execution up front for the Saints offensive line. When you watch the game and we did the film breakdown, boy, I tell you, man, Trevor Penning, he's up too high. He gets pushed back all the time. And it was several times where he was on the ground. Terrible performance. Tali Fuaga false starting. Guys not knowing where they're supposed to be. Guys missing blocks, not knowing who they're supposed to. And one of the biggest things that I've seen outside of just technique breakdown was communication issues. Severe, horrible communication issues constantly happen with the Saints. And opposing teams are using blitz packages where they use stunts or guys are delayed blitz, or where it forces the Saints, it'll test their communication ability, and the Saints offensive linemen are not communicating properly. There was a piece of film that I broke down on the last All 22 where Trevor Penning, y'all put one in the chat if y'all seen this, where Trevor Penning sees a guy, a blitzer, a player right in front of him, and pointed at him twice. And he literally pointed at him twice as, "That's my man. That's my man." And then when the ball snapped, he got somebody else, and that guy got back there to have the impact on the play. I mean, that is just terrible communication issues, stuff that would just be remedied and fixed just by communicating who you blocking. Because you see them, like you looking and you seeing these guys, you're lining up. Somebody got to know who they're blocking. And you see it where guys don't know who they're blocking. And I'm like, how is this even possible? How is this possible? These guys are not even doing basic communication to say, "Hey, I got this guy right here. I got this guy right here." All on the tape. I focused exclusively. I left the defense alone and focused on offense and why we can't seem to get anything going on the ground. And it's just because it's a large part of it is communication breakdowns, even in protection schemes, where you're trying to find a way to open up a hole or whatever it is. Like, it's as simple things like pinning, double blocking down on somebody, and then needing to slide off or peel off to get to the second level to go get the linebacker because my running back's going to follow him through that hole. Just block and slide. Not even that is being adhered to. Everything's delayed and slow. And my point is this: this is week number 17. If you don't know who you gonna be blocking, and you've been starting this whole damn year, and you're in week 17, what does that tell you realistically? We're in week 17 here, right? And I'm saying in terms of the tape from last week. We're in week 17. You have one more week left to go. You're supposed to know exactly what you are doing at this point of the year. You're supposed to know. You done had all the, remember, family, it's not just the games. These people practice several times during the week leading up to the game. Several times a week leading into the game. And this is what you look like? With communication issues, guys not knowing who they are going to block? Really? Hey, it's on the tape. But that's what we did on Patreon. If y'all want to see it for my family members, not Patreon, y'all can join Patreon, patreon.com/Pro Media Network, link in the description section. We do the breakdowns. But I pinpointed those series and locked in on the offensive line to see why we had protection issues, because Spencer was flushed out of the pocket on many plays. He had to use his feet and vacate the pocket. He had to leave because pressure was coming, right? And it's just, we can't have that. So I'm like, in my mind, man, this is week 17. We're in the week 18. If you're an offensive lineman, and even the backup guys, the backups have been getting so many reps, right? Because the starters are out. The backups should have it figured out too. So it ain't no excuse for you to be a backup and not know what you're doing. or not communicate with the guy next to you. Hey, I got him, you got him. Facts. This is what I seen on the tape. Now, do they fix that in time for a better defensive line and a better offense? Right. The the Raiders defense was missing a lot of their top-notch talent, right? Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in the game. They're missing a few people. So the Saints, but still the Raiders put pain on the Saints, disheveled, discombobulated, undisciplined, ignorant offensive line. They were able to frustrate him. They had a few decent series where they kept Spencer upright, but they had several of them when he was flushed from the pocket. We could not sustain a running attack to balance the offense, right? And that's just not indicative of just the offensive line. You see communication issues with the tight ends too. The tight ends in cases are getting beat too, blocking wise. They're getting handled blocking wise. It's on the film. So this is the thing I'm saying going into a game. You played against a team that had nothing to play for last week except for its self-respect for its coach to make him look better, because if the Saints handle the Raiders, that looks different, right? Because you were supposed to lose because people veered the Raiders as the inferior opponent, but you beat them like this. That helped Pierce keep his job with the Raiders. It really did. You were able to win, with this. How does this look for the Saints in week number 18? We know they change from week to week, but this is the thing. My keys to victory for the Saints. Number one is, before we can get to the defense, the Saints offense will have to produce a running attack to balance itself against the pass. That's number one. You're going to have to produce a running attack. You can't have Spencer scrambling out every other play. That ain't going to work against a fast defense like the Buccaneers. They will eat that shit up. So they're going to have to create some kind of running attack. And when you got guys like Vita Vea and Kalaja Kancey, big, massive defenders that can move and flow, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So you're looking at guys for the Saints interior offensive line who are not even communicating properly, to be honest with you, dealing with facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Vita Vea, Kalaja Kancey, and these other guys, Logan Hall. You're going to put these guys up against them. It's going to be trying. Let's just say that. It's going to be challenging for them to situate a running attack with that. It really is going to be very challenging, because the key to it is the Saints will have to not only block well to open up lanes for the running back, whoever it's going to be, the guy will have to then shed off to get to the linebacker level to stop them from being able to play around and blitz gap and do whatever they do, dropping the coverage. That lineman has to be able to get to the second level to block out the linebacker. If you're not doing that, they're keeping them linebackers clean up front, then people are going to eat the Saints' lunch. So they have to execute there. So who's executing? Well, let's take a look at it. This is just what the Saints offense look like. Spencer Rattler, Kamara's a game time decision. Kendre Miller's out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jamal Williams, and probably Jordan Mims. I think Mims is still, they might activate him to come here. MVS, Kevin Austin Jr., Cedric Wilson Jr., Juwan Johnson to be available, Prentice. But if you look at the Saints line, Fuaga, Ali Udo, Shane Lemieux, Cesar Ruiz, and Trevor Penning. To me, the biggest violators of the communication principle was not just Ali Udo. To me, he had several penalties last game that was catastrophic, man, bad penalties. And a lot of times the Saints were able to, with passes and catches, were able to get down there and then just have dumb penalties that would back them up. The pass that Spencer Rattler made to Juwan Johnson to get down there, and Juwan caught the ball on the goal line or at the one and then stretched the ball over the goal line for the touchdown before the guy put his hands on him to tag him down. That was a touchdown. That was removed by way of a penalty. And it happened like it, and it really just was an offense. The defense was involved too, because if you remember, the first drive that the Raiders started on was a penalty. The Saints had them pinned back there until they had that play where Granderson lined up in the neutral zone and he got hit with that encroachment or offside, whatever you want to call it. And the Raiders were dead in the water. The Saints stopped them, and then after that penalty gave the Raiders new life, they was able to march down the field and get a score. Similar thing happened in the game against Green Bay, where the Saints had defensively had Green Bay pent deep in their own territory. Then a dumb penalty happened, which sparked and gave Green Bay new life. So the discipline is a big part of the Saints needing to do what they got to do. Playing discipline on the road and not having pre-snap penalties. Dumb, bad teams have pre-snap penalties that hurt them from winning these games. And that's what the Saints, we've seen that happen in the Green Bay game. We've seen that happen in the Raiders game. A lot of bad pre-snap penalties is all a part of being not disciplined. We've seen Ali Udo collect a couple of them. We've seen Tali Fuaga false start a couple of times in these games, right? And actually, if you watch the tape, he kind of jumped a lot earlier. They just didn't flag him. I pinpointed on time, like, oh damn, he moved, but they didn't catch him. You know, he did it a couple of times that he wasn't called for on the tape. But the thing is, if you got Tali settling down, I give him some grace because he's a rookie. Even Penning to a degree, because Penning isn't a rookie, he's in his third year, but this is his first full season starting as an offensive lineman, which he's basically is a rookie. You know, if you're basing it upon his experience in terms of him playing the games played, right? He's an inexperienced offensive lineman. The problem with Penning is that Penning, many cases, is fundamentally flawed. He's too high. And I don't mean in terms of smoking. I'm saying in terms of his play technique. He's up too high. His leverage is removed. We seen a defensive lineman literally just push him like a vending machine because he's up too high. He's up here. And the guy just puts his hand, just marches him back into the lap of the quarterback several times. It happened in the Green Bay game. It happened several times in the Raiders game. You know, so where is John Benton, who's the offensive line coach, to fix this on tape? If I can see it, you can see it. And why aren't you fixing it? You see what I'm saying? This is stuff. That's what the purpose of watching tape is for. Why aren't these coaches fixing these techniques and these flawed techniques that we seeing? Why isn't John Benton fixing Trevor Penning? I mean, this is week 17 that I'm talking about on film, right? We're in week 18. It's the last game of the season. If you're still doing that this late in the game, man, I have to look and say, hold on now. Hold on. It's the whole line, guys. Let me tell you something. Hold on now. That goddamn guys, he ain't blocking too high. You know, hold on. We gotta pump the brakes. Dude, it's week 18. You can't still be up this high and guys pushing you back. You have no leverage. You don't have any leverage. Then there's times when it's just the communication is ridiculous between these linemen, especially on pull plays and tosses. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh God. Good golly gosh. What's going on here? You got people pulling and they don't know where they pulling to. You got guys not knowing who they're going to block. Guys, when they supposed to jam a guy, when you double team a dude and then slide off of him and go to the next level to block the next, all this is all confusion. Oh, that's crazy. Good golly gosh. All kind of stuff going wrong here. It's just calamity on tape. So what I'm saying is they would have to fix all of that. Fix the communication issues, fix the technique issues, and do it within a few days. Well, actually, if you ain't got it by now, you ain't got it. And get ready for a Buck team who's motivated to get the win because they know if they win, they in. Simple as that, right? They win, they in. The Saints' major issue in this game, and we ain't even got the defense yet, is the fact that the Saints will have to be able to run the ball against that Tampa Bay front line and those linebackers. They're going to have to run it, and they're going to be firing off. And let me tell you something, fam. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to load that box up against the Saints and force Spencer Rattler to beat them. Let me tell you something. Remember what the Buccaneers did? You remember what the Bucs did this? There was one time I seen it was 7 in the box. One time there was 8 in the box. Like, you ain't running up against that. They're going to stack the box against the Saints and force Spencer Rattler to beat them. It's a simple game plan, right? And then they're gonna slow it down, and then they're gonna as the game winds on, they're gonna selective blitz, and then they're gonna second half come, they're gonna pin their ears back and go after them and force the Saints offensive linemen to use their IQ to figure out who they're gonna block. It's on tape. Everything I'm telling you is verified with tape, man. The communication issues this late in the game are very telling. John Benton needs to be fired. And I like Benton, but whatever's going on, he's not reaching these guys. These guys, not one guy that is having communication issues, is several of them not knowing at times who they're going to block or where they need to be. That is coaching, family. That is coaching. That is coaching. It is up to the coaches to make sure these guys are where they're supposed to be and know what they got to do. You don't turn them guys loose out there unless they know what they're going to do. And if they get out there and show you they're not knowing what they're going to do, you pull their asses out there and put somebody in there that's supposed to. You don't let them go out there and stink. You don't do that. Even if a guy getting it handed to him, if a blitzer's tearing up Fuaga or a blitzer's tearing up Penning, you send a guy out there to help him. You leave a running back in the block for him. You give a tight end to chip him. That guy on that side based on where they're coming from. You get what I'm saying? You're supposed to help these guys. You're supposed to have them ready. If all those guys look like that, that's not just the guy. It's coaching, fam. It's coaching. So it's just what it is. So the keys to victory, Saints will have to run the ball against a tough Tampa Bay front. Going to be difficult. At times, they're going to load the box against you to stop you from running, to force you to beat them with the pass. You're going to have to deliver the ball. They're going to have to provide max effort in terms of showing up and keeping Spencer Rattler clean. In terms of the rollout plays, because you know they're coming with the misdirect and the rollout to the opposite side. You know that's coming. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers know it's coming. Hopefully we can limit that and do something else. Throw some more wrinkles in there, the wrinkles that Clint Kubiak said he was supposed to have. We're in week 18. We need to see some new wrinkles. Don't tell me about, well, this is a backup offense. You had this same backup quarterback for weeks now. That guy's played during the season and everything. A lot of these players have played more than a handful of games right now for you, so they should know what they need to do. And if you need more help, you should have had more help in here from a wide receiver standpoint or whatever you need. You get what I'm saying? There is no excuses here. These guys have to be ready to execute and play a disciplined game where they're not involved with pre-snap penalties that's throwing us back. We can't have that. That's offensively speaking. Defensively speaking, the Saints will have to put pressure on Baker Mayfield. We didn't see him do it with Aiden O'Connell. He got into a rhythm and tore him up. This guy here, Baker Mayfield, he has a lot of different options. They have, and I could really see the Raiders kind of mimicking what the Packers did, even what the Raiders did. Because Amir Abdullah, you can see Bucky Irvin doing similar things. Hell, I remember when Sean Tucker ran over the Saints, the third string running back. So they'll be testing the Saints' run protection scheme. So the Saints will have to stop the run, put pressure on Baker Mayfield. They got to get to him, knock him down. If they start rattling them early and not letting them get into a rhythm, and remember, he'll scramble around on you too. Baker Mayfield ain't going to just stand there and let you hit on him. He going to move around. He likes to scramble and move too. And he'll throw on the run. He'll plant, throw on the run. He does that pretty decently. So you're going to have to, flush him. And when you flush him, you got to be there to get him. You can't flush him to ad-lib and he'll make a pleb feel, well, Mike Evans. They're going to test Alontae Taylor out a lot too in this game. They're gonna test that out big time. So that's going to be something we have to watch out. Cade Otton, I don't know what he does, but they still can operate through other players that they'll have there. So the Saints will have to be prepared for that. So that's a part of the game, getting pressure on Baker and stopping them from running the ball. And when you able to pressure Baker, not allowing him to ad-lib plays, you see, and kind of getting to him early and often and knocking him around so that he throwing the ball earlier than what he wants for a potential interception. If the Saints can get a few turnovers here to help out the offense, because that's what's going to be needed. We need to get a couple of turnovers in this thing to kind of help out the Saints offense, because we already know that it's going to be a struggle element to the Saints offense. We just know that, right? Because it's just, I'm not expecting a miracle to happen here, but because it'll be a miracle that they watch film and say, hey, man, listen, this guy right here is not doing this. How Darren Rizzi is not saying, let me ask y'all this, fam, and then we're about to get the move from on this to go to the coaching side of stuff. Let me ask y'all a question, man. Please feel free to answer this question in the chat. what I'm saying here, fam, why isn't Darren Rizzi doing anything about this? I know he's just an interim coach with a big fat mouth and likes to yell, but I'm asking y'all a serious question. Why isn't Darren Rizzi looking at his offensive line on film and saying, hey, man, these guys look unprepared. Let me make a change here on the offensive line coach. If we about winning, why isn't he making any changes to that side of the ball? Why isn't he doing anything? I'm just asking a question. If you're the coach, I don't care if it's the last game or not. You're supposed to be all about winning. Why is he not over there changing stuff up on that offense? I'm just asking. You get me? Why is he not doing that? How could he be a head coach of an NFL football team, watch film and not see what you see? And we're watching the same film. They don't get no specialer film than what we get. They get the same all 22. We see the same stuff. How doesn't he see what you see? How he doesn't see the communication issues with his offensive lineman will stand up before you and telling them that he didn't see any lack of effort. All he seen was a phenomenal effort. I'm just asking, how does he not see this? How does he not see to go and get that offensive line coach, demote him and put the next guy up to see if you can change up? Because that guy, whatever's going on, he's not reaching these guys. Why isn't Trevor Penning looking better than what he's looking? Why isn't it every game? It's the same thing from Penning. He's blocking too high, and he's consistently getting pushed into the quarterback's lap because he's up too high. Why are we not? Why we keep seeing this game after game? Where's the adjustment on these players to make them better from game to game? Why do we keep saying the same stuff happening over and over again? And these people are supposed to be professional athletes and professional coaches. Why is this happening? I'm just asking the question because I'm like, man, I keep seeing this on the film over and over again. And I, as a football man, don't want to see crap happen consistently on tape. That means that the coaches are not addressing it. They're not addressing it. And then you go into these games expecting a different result, and you haven't fixed or rectified what you did from the previous game that contributed to the loss. This is commonsensical. Why aren't they doing these things? I don't understand that, right? What's up, Who Dat Daddy? L-Dub, what's up, man? L-Dub says because he don't know what he's looking at, and he probably expecting defenses to win because they know offense ain't it. What's up? Okay, thank you, bro. DeWright, what's up, DeWright? Said maybe his hands are tied, Q. I don't know, brother. You it could be. I don't know. But if you're the interim coach, you ain't got nothing to lose, right? You took your shot. You know, you damn sure ain't gonna get no head coaching gig. You can go back to being a special teams coordinator, but you out there. You know what I mean? You are in a position where, hey man, I gotta let it go. This is all I got. But hey, bro, was his hands tied when he made the demotion of Ty Grantham? How was he able to demote Ty Grantham and put Brian Young as the defensive line coach, but not do anything over here with the offense? I mean, not do a damn thing. Why? You're looking at these films. You see what's going on, and these guys keep doing the same thing over and over again. Fugo says because Rizzi is DA's little cousin, and he not capable. Thank you, bro. Kathleen, what's up? Say, I don't think he was given the power to do so. This is what you can touch, and this is what you cannot touch. Really? Who? Well, I'll tell you what, Kathleen, that's interesting. Who do you think telling him to do that? That you can touch, you can demote Grantham, but you can't do anything with the offense? Who tell me who you think would tell him to do that? Who would tell him to do that? Because it can't be Mickey Loomis, because Mickey Loomis doesn't care what you do with the team. I mean, he don't care what his door is closed. So who's telling him that, in your opinion? Saints for Life says Zach Bourne made Pro Bowl with Eagles. Saints, another former Saint going elsewhere making noise. Saints draft guys either bust if they are any good, they get an opportunity and shine. All right, thank you, bro. All right, Pelican Nola says Stephen Wonder can see better than Rizzi. All right, it says the right, good point. Mickey got too much control. Is it Mickey Loomis that's telling him, hey, hold on now. Okay, pump your brakes, guy. Hold on now. I let you get rid of Todd Grantham. He brought me some bad clam chowder. But hold on now. You can't touch that offense. Does that sound like Mickey Loomis? Mickey Loomis, one thing you could say about Mickey Loomis, he might be an idiot, but he's not a meddler. I can't call Mickey Loomis a meddler. He's not a meddler. He's a lot of things, but he's not a meddler. He doesn't meddle in your affairs. If he gives you the job, you can do whatever you got. You can screw it up and he'll come out and even throw excuses for you. But that's one thing I can't say about Loomis is that he's a meddler. So I mean, y'all answer that. Who that daddy says Q? I think Kathleen has something there. Okay. All right. I'm just asking. Dwight says Penning. He says Penning has placements he said, hold it. Penning hands placement is so late. Q plus his footwork is terrible. Agree. Thank you, bro. All right. Lo, what's up, Lo? Lo in the building. All right, my dog Lo said Falcons fans to Saints fans. Hey, big head.
What?
No sir, Lo. No sir, Lo. No sir. Hey, listen, Lo. You know what, brother? Shout out to my dog, man. Shout out to my boy, Lo. But listen, bro. Listen, man. Not because we don't want to do you a favor, bro. Is I don't think my team is capable of doing that favor for you, bro. Because where we're weak at, and I'm just keeping it, and this is tough for me to say this, but really not, because it's the truth, right? We're supposed to live with the truth, right? The reality is, I don't think the Saints are capable of doing what it takes to win the game. We have to be able to run the ball. We got so many communication issues with the offensive line and guys knowing where they need to be. We can't consistently do anything valuable to even press with these people, right? We don't want it to get into a shootout, but we can't consistently even hold the ball long enough for our defense to get a rest before we punt the ball back to their offense. So I don't know. I don't think right now, based on what I'm seeing on film, that they're capable of creating a running attack. And the plays that they're going to call, like the toss plays with Spencer, fam, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to eat the Saints lunch if they come with that misdirection toss play that they like to run 3 to 4 times a game, where they pretend to toss it to the left and then he scrambles out and runs to the opposite side. Man, they don't eat that for lunch, man. Please don't do that to him. Kubiak, do something different, bro. Do something different. This is week 18. Roll out some new wrinkles. Do something else. Don't come out with that cheesy toss, misdirection toss play. Don't do that. So, like I said, it's going to be difficult, man. All right. Kathleen says yes. Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. Much love, babe. Appreciate you as well. All right. Lewis says Q. Mickey says GM. Mickey stays GM. What do you see working as far as offseason changes? He gonna pick a play. He gonna pick a head coach that mirror what he wants to happen. Mickey Loomis doesn't want to get rid of Derek Carr. He is not trying to move around the cap situation. He puts you on the path for the next 3 years. He sees cap nirvana by staying on the current path, and he's just going to pick people who will agree to that line. That's what he's going to do. He's going to interview coaches that will agree with his philosophy on the future of the team going forward, and so far as the cap situation and personnel. Word on the street, they want to keep certain coaches and all this kind of old stuff, and he's going to try to sway that. That's what I see, brother. So big ups to you, brother Lewis. Yeah. All right. Yeah. His Low says, no, we ain't gonna do you like that, bro. I'm saying, listen, hey, bro, listen, we'll help you if we could, bro. But listen, I don't think my team could do it, bro. I'm gonna just be honest with you. We can't run the ball consistently. And that's a big sticking point. We got to run on these people. And Vita Vey, Logan Hall, Kalijah Kancey, these are forces. Plus, they'll have these other guys moving around. We got to be able to run the ball consistently. I don't think we have enough trick plays to be able to we ain't got enough trick plays rolled out to be able to sneak a team like we snuck the Raiders with the trick play touchdown toss. I don't know if we got enough trick plays to do that. It's just a lot going on here. So if I was the Saints, I would throw caution to the wind and just hammer it out. But then again, I don't from an offensive standpoint, I just don't see the Saints as what I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks with the stuff that's been going on, the pre-snap penalties, the miscommunication issues, people not knowing who they're supposed to block, and it's supposed to be a professional team. I don't see how we're going to help you out with a win there, Lo. Just keeping it a buck, bro. You know, because listen, we're not going to lose just so you to be out. You get what I'm saying? If we can win, we're going to win because that's the mentality of the team. They're trying to win. Spencer Rattler doesn't care. He's not going to the game, says, hey, man, we're going to lose to hurt the Falcons. A professional goes in to win because they know they're not getting paid to lose. That's game. That's facts. So if we win and the Falcons beat Carolina and they get in, you know, that's just what it is. But I think the goal is to win to close the season out on a high note. That's what I say. You know, I don't think too many people on that team said we got to lose to stop the Falcons. The Who Dat Nation might be saying that, but the team professionally, they're getting paid to win. So I don't see them doing that. So, we'll see how it all work out, bro. And if we do win, there you go. That's our gift to y'all. Y'all will be done in the first round anyway. All right. Shout out to my brother, man. Appreciate Hey, look, y'all get in there. Don't worry, brother. Don't worry, bro. Y'all get to celebrate, but y'all will be out in the first round. Thank you. All right. English says because Dennis Allen only attracted to no account coaches from teams that didn't care if they left. All right. Shout out to OG says put emoji chat. Who Dat Nation? Big long felt. Yeah. Shout out to my brother. All right. Who Dat Daddy says hey Q. No, he said hey Lo. The snap count for y'all all day is Cancun on too. Let me a round of applause on that shit. Round of applause on that one. Who Dat Dad? 1, 2, 3, Cancun. What's up, Lo? Give me a call. What's up, brother? Yes, sir. What's up, bro? What in the world, Bo?
See, you would give a real good analysis. You give a real good analysis until you got to the part where you talking about we'd be the first one. We'd be the first one to get kicked out of the playoffs. Come on, bro. How you gonna do it? Yeah.
Hey, Lo, you know it's all love, brother. But hey, man, listen, bro. Listen, bro. Y'all trying to fight, bro. Y'all been fighting all year long, bro. Y'all got Penix down there doing this thing, man. Hey, bro, y'all didn't get stuck on the Cousins contract like we got stuck with the Derek Carr contract. A lot of positives, bro. So, I just think it'd be a good thing just to be in the playoffs, bro. It's been 6 years, right, since y'all been in the playoffs, right? That'd be an accomplishment.
Yeah, hey, look, we just need y'all to do what y'all need to do. Like, Rich need to figure something out. Rich need to figure something out and get the job done. You know, we got vouchers here at the Blue Flame at Magic.
Hey, Lo, listen, man. Hey, bro, Lo, I tell you what, my brother, we're gonna do our best to try to help you out on that. All right, my brother, we're gonna do our best to try to help you out.
Hey, shout out, much love to everybody. Great State, thank. I just wanted to, holler at y'all one more time for y'all last game of the season. Much love to y'all, man. And look, y'all had a great season. A lot of ups and downs.
Who had a great season? Nah, come on, Lo. You rubbing it in, nah, brother. Cut that out.
I'm not. I'm serious. Look, you. Anytime, and I'm sure y'all are the same way. Anytime you get a chance to live through a football season, because we look forward to it for 8-9 months, we get a chance to just experience it. In my opinion, it's a good season.
Okay.
Whenever you get a chance to cheer for your favorite team, watching them run out there in the in the Little Caesar Superdome, it's always a good thing.
All right. Well, hey, bro. If with that energy, bro, we see what we can do for you on Sunday, brother. We see if we can.
Wait a minute, Q. That sounds like a threat.
No, we gonna. No.
My bad. Look, I didn't mean nothing about it.
No. We gonna see what we can do for you, my brother. We gonna see. Look, listen. I'll tell you, the Who Dat Nation would love to help you out, brother. But I like I said, man, this gonna be tough, brother. See, I'm not saying it's not gonna be possible or impossible, but it's going to be tough because the Saints got some issues, brother. We gotta get past our own issues before we get that victory, bro, and that's a big part of it. So we're gonna see what we can do.
Block both punts.
Uh-huh.
I need y'all to return 3 kick returns.
Okay.
Return 2 punts and block every field goal that they kick. Really supposed to be a special team guy anyway. I need y'all to make sure y'all get some points some kind of way if you can't get them offense.
That's right. That's right. But hey, Lo, y'all still got to beat Carolina now. Y'all don't be worrying about us. Y'all better beat Carolina and don't lose to Carolina.
Look, you're right. The Carolina, they started to put it together.
I know they and hey, you gotta listen to Dave and Shot, man. They talking about spoiling your day.
Hey, man, they just need to get that hate out of their heart, man. Look, I'm gonna let you get back to your show, Q. I just wanted to hit you up, man. Talk to y'all for the last game of the season, man. Much love, my brother.
All right, appreciate you, Lo, brother. I'm gonna holler at you later, man. Thank you, bro. All right, that's Lo, man. Shout out to my brother, Lo, man. Big Low Country. Good dude, man. That's my brother, man. All right, yeah. All right, so anyway, man, listen, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all in the stream, baby. All right, brother Taylor says, Q, I guess the Pelicans got to 6 wins before the Saints. You're right, sir. Yes, indeed, man. They did, man. So we got a round of applause for them. Isn't that crazy, bro? They got the 6 wins beating the Wizards, man. Man, it's tough times in the city, baby. All right, Jared says, y'all intercepted Baker 3 times last game. Rise up. Okay, to rise up. Okay, hold on. Let me say that right. Y'all intercepted Baker 3 times last game. Rise up to fall down. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to say, man, listen, y'all better make sure y'all stop focusing on what the Saints doing and handle business in your own house. Y'all still got to beat Carolina. And Carolina, listen, Carolina's looking to spoil y'all day. So don't look across the field until you handle your own business. Don't make me break out that whining, brothers. That sweep around your own front door. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep. Remember that? Before you try to sweep around yes, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep them around mine. That's old school logic right there, which means handle your business. Don't look across that field until you handle your business, baby. Handle your business. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with here, fam. So we'll see how the Saints handle it. Most of my keys to victory for this game, man. It's a tall order for the Saints. It's not impossible or improbable. There's a small chance that they handle their business, man. But listen, man, they got to get it together, you know? And like JD said in his article, man, we shouldn't be picking and prodding the Saints to be professionals when they're getting paid to play. It's the wrong team for that, man. You know, show up. And they getting paid, but they're going to have their hand out when it's time for their money to come. Just amazing to me, man, how they get away with all that, man. But anyway, let's move on to the next stuff here, man. Let's hit these other articles right here before I get ready to get out. The future is now young players. Shout out to Bob, man, and the Saints News Network, brother Kyle T. Mosley, and the rest of the fam over there. Future is now young players who must develop to make up Saints core. I look at the younger players on the Saints roster and whether they can be building blocks for the team's future. The Saints are winding up a season that sees them miss the playoffs for a 4th consecutive season. It's the longest stretch without a postseason appearance since 2001 and 05. Good Lord. Part of a span where they missed the playoffs in 12 of 13 years. That's tough years. There's several reasons the Saints struggles this year. Injuries, decimated offensive skill position, poor performance of the interior offensive line, bad coaching, and the bottom out of once formidable defenses are chief among them for those reasons. Above all, New Orleans is viewed as an aging roster with salary cap issues, questions at quarterback, not much youth to build around. There are main reasons why ESPN's Brian Barnwell recently named the Saints as the least attractive coaching destination among probable vacancies this offseason. Obviously, Barnwell needed to actually do a bit of research, see Jets and Raiders as prime examples, right, Bob? But the issues in New Orleans are still valid. However, there are some younger pieces to build around for the next coach of the Saints. Here are 4 tiers of the Saints players, 26 or younger, that could be potential building blocks for the future coaching regime. Here are the free agents. Paulson Adebo. We know about Paulson, age 25. Does Paulson get paid? Re-signing Adebo before 2025 free agency didn't seem much of a possibility before this year started. He was coming off an outstanding 23-24 campaign. Plus, the Saints already have Lattimore and Alante Taylor, along with drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry in the second round. Fast forward a few months ago, Adebo went out for the year with a broken femur. In week 7, possibly hurting his free agent stock more than that was the fact that he had not been playing well before the injury. He should still be a free agent target, but will perhaps be more affordable to the Saints. New Orleans would be wise to prioritize re-signing Adebo. As recently as a year ago, he looked on the cusp of being one of the league's better corners. He's a physical defender who plays well in off-ball coverage and is capable of taking on the league's top wideouts in man-to-man duties. Core players, star potential. Brian Bressee's 23, Tyler Fuaga's 22, Kool-Aid's 22, Chris Olave's 24, Rashid Shaheed's 26, Alante's 26. That's a nice core. Brazier in his second season is looking like a perennial Pro Bowler. His team leading 7.5 sacks, or second among the league's defensive tackles. He's also rapidly improving as a run defender on top of his 24 pressures, 7 tackles for a loss, 3 tip passes, and a blocked field goal. Good Lord. After playing right tackle during an All-American career at Oregon State, Fuaga has had a seamless transition to the left side as a rookie. He's had struggles you'd expect from a first-year play, especially one at the new position. However, Fuaga has shown the traits of a formidable run blocker and has shut down some of the league's best edge rushers as a pass blocker. Kool-Aid McKinstry, a rookie second-round choice, saw more action than anticipated because of Adebo's injury and Lattimore's trade. He's responded well, giving up 56% completion rate when targeted and breaking up 5 passes. McKinstry was terrific. He has terrific agility and outstanding man coverage skills. He's already shown the ability to lock down top receivers, something that should get even better with more experience. Olave has been the Saints' top receiver since selected 11th overall back in 2022 after back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to start his career. Concussions have limited him to 8 games and 32 catches for 400 yards this year. Still, he's a precise route runner with big play ability. A rookie alongside Olave in 22, Shaheed joins the Saints as an undrafted signing, arguably the best returner in the league. He's also an undrafted and rapidly underrated, really, and undrafted as well, rapidly improving route runner. A knee injury cut his year short after just 6 games, but Shaheed will be a vital part of the offense going forward. Alante Taylor was the Saints' defensive MVP through the first half of the year, a physical defender. Taylor also brings tremendous versatility to the secondary. He is effective as both a slot and outside corner, while also being a solid run defender and disruptive blitzer. Solid complement and good upside. Trevor Penning's 25, Pete Werner's 25 as well. After failing at left tackle in 2022 first-round choice, Penning has found a home on the right side. He still has issues in pass protection, but has shown improvement in that area. His value is a run blocker, where he's regularly plows over defenders. This is true. The Fuaga-Penning tackle combination looks to have the Saints set at the position for the foreseeable future. Werner has been a tackling machine and terrific run defender since joining the Saints as a 2021 second-round choice. He's limited in pass coverage, but his terrific awareness and instincts. Werner has been a great complement to Demario Davis, but also has the ability to be the defensive play caller. Potential, but jury's out players. Jalen Ford had the horrible injury. He's a player Bub Means and Kendre Miller. Ford's rookie year was marred by injury, and he played no defensive snaps in 8 games. However, he's a playmaker all over the field for the Longhorns. The Saints carried him on the active roster into the season and made him a healthy game scratch for 7 weeks. This may show that he flashed enough potential for the Saints didn't want to subject him to waivers or risk getting him signed away from the practice squad. Bub Means got his rookie year off to a slow start because of injury. When injuries also sidelined Olave and Shaheed, Means was starting to come on strong before an ankle injury ended the season. He only had 9 catches for 180 yards. However, the bulk of that came in 2 games as he showed some very good contested catch skills. Potential is tantalizing trait that gets coaches fired, and Kendre Miller is dripping with it. Miller has teased with his vision, power, explosiveness, and receiving skills that made him the 2023 third-round choice out of TCU. He's also not been able to stay on the field, missing 19 of a possible 33 outings and has been slow to pick up the offense. Brissy, Fuaga, McKinstry, Olave, Shaheed, and Taylor are exciting young pieces the Saints can build around. Adebo is certainly among the group if the Saints resign him. A legitimate argument can be made that Pete Werner and Penning also belong on that list. This is a crucial offseason for those players, perhaps even more critical for Ford, Means, and Miller. The Saints have to rebuild at several roster spots while also getting younger. The offseason moves may reflect how they feel about the upside of younger players on the roster. Shout out to Bob, man. Big ups to him. Fantastic article, giving us some game on some of the young players, the young core of our team. We do got some young players. We just need to get the correct coach to be able to develop the core properly and move them along, man. That's what we really need, to be honest with you. All right. Shout out to Bob on that, man. Let's kind of talk and move ahead and talk about some of this other stuff dealing with some of the coaches, man. Let's hit some of these other items here. And here's one right here. As the season winds down, New Orleans Saints coaching search will begin heating up. The Darren Rizzi era started off hot after taking over for Dennis Allen, but quickly tapered off. Blowout losses to Green Bay and to Las Vegas have soured his head coaching resume. Aaron Glenn and Mike Vrabel have been the names thrown around the most frequently, but there is another former head coach that has been added to the mix. The Athletics' Deanna Rossini had this to say: I expect the Saints to show interest in former Bears head coach and current Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy. Rossini added that Rizzi should receive a shot and that Mike McCarthy could interest the Saints if he and the Cowboys part ways. Nagy rejoined the Chiefs after a 34-31 stint with Chi-Town, ended in 21. He currently is the Chiefs offensive coordinator, and this was his path to his first head coaching job. The tenure was short, but it started off really bright. He led the Bears to a divisional title in his first season and was the AP Coach of the Year. He also led the Bears to another playoff berth in his third year. And since the Bears fired Lovie Smith after the 2012 season, Nagy is responsible for each of their 2 playoff appearances and their only finish with a winning record. Wow. But Nagy is a surprising name. The connection with the Saints is likely just the beginning of the buzz. So there you go. Matt Nagy is a part of the discussion in terms of what the Saints are doing. Now, does this make sense for the Saints to talk to Nagy? It does, because he's from the Andy Reid coaching tree, right? And the Bears figured that he would be successful there. I didn't know how many wins that he got, but 34-31 for the Chicago Bears and a couple of playoff trips. And his tenure is not a bad thing, but dealing with Chicago, which seems to have problems consistently holding stuff together. But how would he look? And he does fit, my mentality. I would like an offensive-minded coach. And he has a good system, work with Andy Reid. But how does this factor out here in New Orleans? So I think it's a positive just to talk to Matt Nagy and see what he can do. I mean, I don't think it hurts a bit. He's a guy that, working with Andy Reid and had all that championship experience right there. And hell, the Saints love. I mean, is this much of a surprise that we were actually interested in Matt Nagy? Hell, how many Kansas City Chief people we done took already? We got like 7 or 8 Kansas City Chiefs on the damn team right now. I mean, what's this guy? He's a coach. You get what I'm saying? There's only 2 places a lot of the talent. Think about it. There's only 2 places the Saints are pilfering talent from in terms of the NFL, right? It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders. They seem, I don't know what's going on there, but some kind of way they figured always attach themselves in all these Chief players. Tyrann Mathieu, Bink Saunders, Tanu Passanio. I mean, who else they got? MVS, he was a former Chiefs guy. Come on. This team is littered and loaded with former Chief players and Raider people. So if we're not getting it from the Chiefs, we're getting it from the Raiders. So, I mean, I'd rather get it from the Chiefs than get it from the Raiders, to be honest with you, because at least they're showing you a long road of winning. So is it a surprise that Matt Nagy's attached to it? Not really, based on the fact that the Saints do pilfer a lot of Chiefs people. Shit, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was another guy that was a former Chief player. He's here. So, I mean, we just seem to love getting those Chiefies and bringing them around. Those Chiefies. We love those Chiefies. All right. So anyway, Matt Nagy could be interested in the Saints job. Let's talk to him. Let's see what he got. All right, and this is another report. Shout out to Saints Wire here. John Sigler says new report raises concerns on Saints head coaching search. What do you mean, sir? There's one name consistently popping up in New Orleans Saints gearing up for another head coaching search. Detroit Lions defensive coordinator, Mr. Aaron Glenn. There's nothing new, but this recent report about the forces at work in the Saints' latest head coaching search is concerning. How so? Longtime NFL insider Tony Pauline reports for the Sports Coma that observers around the league expect Glenn to get the job given his relationship with the team and perceived willingness to accept conditions forced on him by management. I spoke to a lot of this early in the broadcast. People tell me longtime Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, there he is, who has been with the organization since 2000, isn't going anywhere anytime soon, despite the lack of recent success. Loomis doesn't want a lot of upheaval in the organization and would prefer to keep several of the existing coaches on staff. The belief is Glenn would be open to keeping the coaches Loomis wants retained, given his relationship with the organization and the general manager, which makes him a perfect fit for the job. Now, how does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? And that is why Mickey Loomis shouldn't be leading the general manager search, because it's not really a general manager search. It'll be similar to what you've seen the last time he did not general manager search. I'm just saying that was a total Freudian slip. Me getting general manager search to get him the hell up off the general manager job. Head coaching search. He did this the last time around with Dennis Allen 4 years ago, when Dennis Allen was a guy that the Saints interviewed, and they interviewed a bunch of people, sat down with Eric Bieniemy, who was at the time the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember this? And they sat down with that man for 8 hours, and didn't offer him the job. Hold on here. Hold on here. And he didn't ultimately, he went back to college. I think he went to college to coach. But I was trying to find an article for y'all where they sat there and interviewed the man for 8 hours. Oh, let me see if I can find. Because it was like, man, who does that, man? Hold on. Let me do some quick. I just want to show y'all this, man, because I like to drop the receipts. Here it is right here. Look at this. Saints wrapped up Saints wrapping up head coach search after 8-hour Eric Bieniemy interview. Remember this? Sunday, February the 6th of 2022. Fowler. Eric Bieniemy spent nearly 8 hours with the Saints in person today. Interview just wrapped up, and now New Orleans will get to work on narrowing the head coach's search. They had some reports saying they were eating etouffee and all that shit. I remember that. I covered it on the show. I just wanted to bring out the receipts, man, to show you what this is, man. This was the last time Mickey Loomis ran an interview. This is what he did to Eric Bieniemy. 8 hours. You see what I'm saying? Man, come on, man. But back to this article right here. People tell me longtime Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, been with the organization, blah, 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 doesn't want a lot of upheaval in the organization. Why the hell not? You had 4 years of failure and funk. You need upheaval. You need to upturn the apple cart, so to speak. You need to throw out this and move this around. What part of the last 4 years told you that you don't need to disturb anything? You see what I'm saying? This is lack of vision and ridiculousness. And would prefer to keep several of the this is what David Griffin did when he hired a cheap ass coach like Willie Green, who has no spine, no backbone, who doesn't, hired this guy to run the operation. And whatever whatever Griffin says, he does without any capacity, without anything. They don't hire anybody accountable or anybody that's going to have some gumption or some fight in them. Everybody got to be on this weird basketball cult BS. We're back. We're a family. Man, you paying them people to work there. What you talking about? You stupid or something? You paying these people to be here. What are you talking about? If you want a team to gel, have them to win together. You can't find any bigger way to gel than people fighting and training and working out, learning and winning together. You can't. That's how you pull a team together. You ain't gonna pay these guys to be cool with each other. If you don't do it any other way, you just have a bunch of cool ass losers here. We don't want no cool losers. No. But how do you guys feel about this? This is why Mickey Loomis should not be the general manager. This is the problem. He doesn't know what he's doing. I like Aaron Glenn, but you don't tailor the search based on your vision for the team. What he needs to do is look at the team. That's why I was telling y'all in the show. He's not going to look because he don't see any problem with the team. He thinks, and he's going to tell you at the end of the season when you finally get an end of season press conference, which won't be right away by you. He's going to finally tell you that injuries is the reason why the Saints failed. He's going to tell you all that. And if the injuries didn't happen, we'd have won, that's totally unlikely because I don't know no professional sport where as rough and tough as the NFL, where you start off in weeks 1 or even weeks 2, and by week 17 and 18, you got the same team you assembled in week 1 and 2. At some point, you're going to be dealing with injuries to the point where you're going to have to adjust and beat them and keep winning like all other teams do. It's just that's a common thing. You can't, that's why the talking point is you cannot use injuries. You can't use it because going into the season is that you're going to get guys hurt. That's what the depth chart's for. So, Q, it was the injuries that really hurt us, that was really the problem, the injuries. Dude, we got a depth chart. That's what the depth chart's for. That's what coaches are for. They coach these guys up. Because you still have enough men to win a game. You still got enough people to win a game. You should have beat the Raiders. You could have beat several teams this year that you laid down to. And it wasn't exclusively injuries. It's you not knowing how to use the personnel that you assembled. I didn't pick those guys on that team. They did. They assembled this depth chart. And you mean to tell me the depth chart wasn't good enough for you to win? That's your fault. You cannot use injuries then. It was just your dumbass inability to build a depth chart to withstand NFL injuries. Bottom line. And if it happens to your depth chart, you make trades before the trade deadline. You sign people off of practice squads and you sign free agents to come in and subsidize this organization so you can keep going on about the business of winning. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's playing by the same rules. Everybody has to deal with the same injury situation. There is no excuses for that. You failed because you didn't handle that obstacle in the way that was successful. That's how you failed. Just say it what it is and stop blaming it on shit that everybody got to deal with. Well, you see, the problem is, man, we got this, this tax. And man, it's just, it's not a personal tax to you. Everybody got to deal with that tax. How do they then know how to make it do where you don't? You need to figure out how to get around it or adapt, make some more money, whatever you got to do that's on the level, you're going to have to do and figure it out. And that is the difference. That's the difference. We don't do that. I don't play that injury garbage, man. You can't tell me you got a depth chart. You miss me with the injuries. Everybody can get hurt. That's why you got to build the team and construct it in the correct way to absorb as many of the injuries as you possibly can. And the Saints failed on that. That's just what it is. He said, that's very troubling. This is John Sigler saying, because I don't think he liked Mickey Loomis either. That's very troubling. If accurate, a new head coach should get to hire his own coaching staff, not accept the turnovers from a team that just lost 11 of 12 games. Great point. But Glenn is hoping for his big break as a head coach, and he'll be willing to accept demands like this if it means him getting the job. Listen, this is where I differ with John on this. Aaron Glenn is going to be sought after, just like Johnson is, the offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions. They both going to be sought after. Aaron Glenn is not going to be a lack of him finding a job. Aaron Glenn's ready to be a coach. He did it the right way. He started off, and he had a long career as a player. He then became a coach on the defensive side of the ball. He was a special teams coach. climbed up from special teams coach for several years into becoming a defensive coordinator. Went from defensive coordinator to going to be a head coach. They have a bunch of teams that are be willing to give Coach Glenn an opportunity to be a head coach. They're going to be plenty of teams. So he don't have to take the demands of the Saints position where he can go to another squad and get and have an opportunity to make more money because they could pay him. They're going to pay him. Well, the money is a different thing, but he'll be able to make his money, pick his own staff, be able to then not have to worry about the hellish salary cap situation that the Saints will be dealing with and is forced to win under restrictive measures. He's not that desperate of a coach. That's not who Glenn is to me. I think he'll have opportunities. It's better than the Saints' opportunities. Really is. Glenn does have a long history with the Saints. As Pauline said, he finished his career with the Saints in 08. He returned to the team as defensive back coach in 2016, the position he held into 2020 when he joined Campbell on Detroit staff. He also worked as a personnel scout with the Jets, the team that drafted him, who was also expressed. There you go. That's a good one. But do the Jets want to go back there after what happened with Robert Saleh? That's a whole nother thing. What do they look at? I don't think the Jets know what they want to do, but that could be an option for him too. He could be the right man for the job. If Loomis intends on retaining Clint Kubiak and his staff to try to replicate the success from the first 2 weeks of 2024, and maybe Darren Rizzo and his crew on special teams, Glenn could run the defense, but that's a flawed strategy. It's just rehashing the approach that got Dennis Allen fired. See, that's the problem. They don't have a quarterback they can win with because of the defense, because their defense is worn out. And the offensive depth chart is paper thin. It's garbage, pretty much. Is what I'm saying. Bigger changes are needed than hiring someone who's such a similar resume to coach that they just dismissed. Now, this is true. At some point, Loomis needs to accept his window closed when Sean Payton left. He's 49-66 without Payton coaching a team. If Loomis can't come up with better material than this, then team owner Gail Benson needs to overrule him again, like she did when firing Allen. It might be time for Loomis to step down too. See, you hear the writers getting it. And this is one of our really good writers right here. Shout out to John Sickler, one of the more consistent ones. We got a lot of good ones, but he's very consistent. Good, and really, I like him because he don't play no BS. He calls them out like you just hear it here. A lot of people, they won't do that. They'll tiptoe around Mickey Loomis and they'll say some stuff, and I understand why you do that. But I do appreciate the writers that when they do, they put the arrow and the finger where it belongs. What's wrong with this team? It's this guy, Mickey Loomis. So yes, is this a surprise here about it? This is basically the thing. That's why I was alluding and telling the family members that we need to move away from this guy in terms of him having a general manager position. Now, in terms of them moving Dennis Lauscha off the president's job, that takes vision, and I don't even. It takes vision to do that. Like, you got to see the man is not. He's misrolled. He needs to be rebranded something else that ties to what he does. You need a real football president there, a guy that can make that guy, the president, would be the smartest football mind in the building, is what I'm trying to head at. You get what I'm saying? Whoever you name as the football president of your team has to be the smartest football mind in the building. That is not Dennis Lauscha. That is not, he doesn't know anything about that, which is a joke, because he can't keep the accountability model flowing downhill. You can't have two people at the top that don't know football, Gail and Lauscha. Come on. And then give it all to Loomis. Say, hey, you got it. You run it, Mickey. Oh, yeah, well, I'm the goddamn man. I'll do whatever I want to do. I know. I don't want, And then he's saying injuries, like I told you. This guy doesn't know anything about this. He doesn't even look at the team correctly. He got rose-colored glasses, black glasses, orange glasses, all on the side. He can't see nothing. He don't see anything. It's all a bunch of foolishness. His evaluations suck, and he don't know what he's doing. That's the bottom line, because he's doing these things to be adversarial, and he's over-emotional. The Who Dat Nation did not guess wrongly on their comments and their critiques and criticisms of the New Orleans Saints organization. They did not choose wrongly. They were 100% right. We were right about Dennis Allen and that chapped his ass. He ain't like that. So he continues. He don't even look at what happened in a logical mind frame going forward. He just sees it as the fact, well, those guys one up me. I'm taking it personal. Man, get out of here, dude. Get out of here. But I'm glad to see the reporters. They're covering this stuff and breaking it down. All right, we got two more to go. We're going to hit this one. NFL Insider says Saints appear to have interest in these two veteran head coaches. Now, we talked about this before, and this is here from the NOLA.com crew. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero made an appearance Tuesday on Good Morning Football and dropped a couple of hints as to whom the Saints might pursue to replace Dennis Allen, who was fired November the 4th after a 7-game losing streak and replaced by interim coach Darren Rizzi. First, Pelissero mentioned New Orleans is one of many teams doing work on veteran coach Mike Vrabel, whom Tennessee fired after last season despite a largely successful 6-year tenure. Vrabel was 54-45 and led the Titans to the playoffs 3 times. Vrabel spent this offseason with the Browns as a consultant, but his contract there expired this week, freeing him up to interview for head coaching jobs. In addition to the Saints, Peter Schrager mentioned that the Bears, the Jets, and the Raiders, if they fire first-year coach Antonio Pierce as possibilities for Vrabel. Hopefully they don't fire Coach Pierce. I think Coach Pierce is a good coach. Hopefully he stays with the Raiders. I like him. The Jets, recent reports said the Jets interview Vrabel. The other name Pelissero mentioned, one familiar to the Saints who followed the team's offensive coordinator search a year ago, was former Bucs and Raiders coach John Gruden. Former Bucs and Raiders coach John Gruden, who hasn't coached in the NFL since he resigned in Vegas after his offensive emails from years earlier surfaced publicly. Pelissero said Gruden could have become the Saints' offensive coordinator if he had wanted it. It's not too sure to say for sure that Gruden will be back, but there's multiple teams that are doing extensive homework on John Gruden, the situation, him as a coach, him as a person. Pelissero said, I would not be surprised to see at all if in the coming weeks you see John Gruden's name popping up in interviewing for head coaching jobs. Gruden is 122-116 as a head coach, including 5-4 in the postseason and a run to the Super Bowl title with Tampa in 2003. That's actually was Tony Dungy's team, by the way. That Gruden won with, had Tony Dungy not left to go to Indianapolis, probably would have won the Super Bowl that year. Just putting it, but you got to get a man credit because at least he did take him there, even though that was, pretty much Dungy's team. But Dungy ended up getting this bowl anyway with the Colts, right? But anyway, let's address these two things. Number one, we talk about Mike Vrabel and what he was able to do. Now, Vrabel's, like I said, you got to like the lineage of Mike Vrabel insofar as he's a coach that is tied to the New England Patriots championship tradition. So he got a lot of Bill Belichick's coaching style and intelligence, stuff like that, which is, phenomenal. Had a pretty decent success that we would take and accept, which the Titans had. You would love that. 3 times, went to the playoffs 3 times. Saints hadn't been in the playoffs in 4 years, going to be 4 years. And we'd take that 3 out of 4 years. And a competitive team, even though I prefer an offensive-minded coach, not mad at Vrabel because of his resume. And this is an upgrade. It's like going to a wedding where you step over the broom, y'all hop over the broom. Yeah, that's how low the bar has been set. You know how you have the game where they hold up the broom and you dance up under the broom. What's that called? What's it called? What's it called when you at the party and they put the broom up here? You just or you just dance up under the broom. What's that called? The limbo or whatever it's called. You dance up under the broom. It ain't no dance. You don't have to break it down to get up under the broom. The broom on the ground. You just walk over it. That's how low the bar is set. The bar is sitting on the ground. That's how low the Saints set the bar. Ain't no need to get jiggy with it. Yeah, there's no need to do any of that stuff. You just go put the damn ball on the ground. You just step right on over it. Oh, there it is. Okay, there you go. That's what we did with Dennis Allen for the last 3.5 years. The ball's on the ground. So anytime you hear them talking to we covered the Matt Nagy thing. You said, Q, how you feel about Matt Nagy? Matt Nagy has championships. You know, he's offensive coordinator, comes from the Andy Reid tree, has some decent success with a team that you usually don't have success with, right? So that's positive. That's Andy Reid. That's a good system. You got Mike Vrabel from Bill Belichick's system. You know, him as a player, a high, a top notch. This guy is a Hall of Fame linebacker going to be if he ain't all right. I don't know if Mike Vrabel's in the Hall, but I know he's. Y'all let me know. Is Vrabel in the Hall of Fame? Is he is a linebacker? I don't know, but I know he's in the Patriots Hall of Fame. What he did, he was a fantastic linebacker for them for many years. So he got a lot of the Bill Belichick winning system, but that's not bad coaching trees to come from Andy Reid's dominating NFL and Bill Belichick, the greatest coach that we've seen in recent memory in the NFL. That's not bad coaching trees. And then you talk about John Gruden, even though the scandals with email, John Gruden is very similar to Sean Payton. Just Coach Payton's more conservative, I guess. I would say Gruden gives you the crazy looks and everything. But in the end, the reality is these coaches, all these guys that we talked about, are better coaches than our resumes are way up here versus what we was coming from. All of those coaches, resumes are up here. Even when you talk about Coach Glenn, we know Coach Glenn's going to be a good coach. I just don't want him. Whoever, if you're looking at Mike Vrabel is not coming here and taking your coaches. He's not going to do that. And if Vrabel's coming here, Vrabel's going to want a little control. You know, he's sought after. He's looking for a head coaching job. If he comes to New Orleans, Mike Vrabel's not going to be keeping under your assistant coaches. He's going to pick his own people. That's a recipe to fail. We taking people just because you don't want them to, because you don't want, you don't want to cut them loose and settle with them. The hell with that. I pick my own people. So he don't fit that right away, if that is indeed the case. And Coach Chucky, if you can get over other stuff, and a lot of people like brush that under the table, they're looking at the football aspect of it. It's just how it work, right? Because we seen, and these coaches, it wasn't even on the same level, right, of what we seen. But we seen disgraced coaches in former stops. Like even if you go to the NBA, we seen disgraced coaches had issues that happened with their family that was frowned upon, eventually made it back into the NBA as head coaches. Whether it's the Emi Udoka thing that happened with him that was disgraced, that got him fired. People didn't want to touch him for a little bit. And then ultimately he some kind of way caught on as the new coach of the Houston Rockets. You had Jason Kidd stuff that was going on. I know it's a little different, but I'm saying I'm giving you a groundwork of disgraced coaches who ultimately, after a period of time, make it back to where they're going. And John Gruden has made it a point to know that he wants to coach again. He been said that. The guy said that he could have been the Saints offensive coordinator, which is crazy because the one that probably makes more sense than anything out of all of this is John Gruden being the head coach of the Saints. That makes more, because that's the only dude that can get good service out of Derek Carr. That's the, if you go back and look at Carr's numbers with John Gruden was the only guy to get mileage out of Derek Carr. And that's what you're going to be calling upon the next coach. You gotta keep Derek. You gotta make sure you keep Derek, because hold on now. Derek is going to be the guy. Hold on now. We gotta make sure. So you can't get rid of him. So whoever it is, they gotta help make Derek Carr work. That's John Gruden. That's John Gruden. And plus, listen, like we talked about, fam, the Saints looking like we talk about Nagy and his connections to the Chiefs. The Saints got a mean Saint Raider pipeline going on here. They got a mean Raider pipe. We get over it as you check it out. You got all these players that come over from the Raiders. You got a former general manager sitting on the team that come from the Raiders. You got a mean you got Raiders and Chiefs littered in the Saints building. What's John Gruden? The Saints are not afraid of John Gruden. Many other teams aren't. If the report is right, they were going to offer Gruden the offensive coordinator, and he was a lot hotter then than he is now. And I'm saying hot in terms of hot being bad based on what was going on at the time, right? And they still was going to give him the thing. They had him wearing Saint gear when he walked up in there. John Gruden could have came in there with regular Nike gear on or whatever. They had him with a Saint shirt on. If you remember the pictures, he had a play sheet tucked in his pants. Remember that? He was literally watching and constructing and counseling people out there. But the Saints kept the media away from them. They can only take pictures. You're not allowed to talk to them. That's why there was nobody. That's why no reports or reporters got near John Gruden. You can only see him. You're not allowed to talk to him. They wasn't scared of him then. What would make you think they'll be scared of him now? And you got Derek Carr here, and he wants to keep Carr, and he's familiar with some of these coaches too. So in the end, the whole thing with the Saints, it could be a swing play for John Gruden. Who knows, man? With these crazy people, who knows? It might be Gruden, but we'll see, man. Because this is Mickey Loomis running the staff. I'm not mad at the Mike Vrabel interview, but let's be honest. You think Mickey is Mike Vrabel a Mickey Loomis hire? You get what I'm getting at? These are the questions I'm asking. Is he? Is Vrabel a hire? Is Matt Nagy a hire? These guys come from successful offensive systems. They've had success as head coaches. Their resumes by far and vastly are severely better than the trash and the angry, ugly, backstabbing possum we had here for the last 3.5 years. Way better. But is this guy on the screen or Nagy, are these hires? Is this a Saints hire? There's going to be some foolishness attached with Mickey Loomis. That's the bottom line, is what I'm saying, because he's not looking at the team like the team failed because of personnel and coaching, which it did. He's going to say it was because of injuries. Hold on now. Once again, hold on. Hold on now. And you can't look beyond the results. Yeah, I won't look beyond the results. I heard the same things. Hold on now. All that. Remember all that? I tell you, man. Hold on. I tell you. Hold on. Crazy, man. We got some interesting times ahead, man. Let's please Gail Benson and the people that need to hear this, hear me well. Do not let Mickey Loomis be the general manager any longer. Let Kai Harley get the general manager job. Let him right the wrong. Let him steer the ship into the future. Please don't let Mickey Loomis do this. Mickey Loomis doesn't know what's wrong with this team because he doesn't spend enough time doing evaluations on this team like he's supposed to do, and he's the damn general manager. He doesn't evaluate anything. It's just ridiculous, man. Taylor says, Q, is Kubiak overrated? Based on what I've seen this year, yes, he is, bro. And I like Clint Kubiak, but I have to tell the truth. I have to tell the truth, bro. If you, and this, I said this before, fam, if you can only coach with 100% of your starters, you are not a real coach. You are not a real offensive coach. If you need 100% of your starters to make your team look good, then you're not a good coach. You're not a great coach. You're not an excellent coach, because in the NFL, you're not going to have them starters like that, for 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Somebody's going to miss some time. Somebody's going to lose. You see what I'm saying? If you need 100% of your players and 90% of your players to be successful in terms of your starters, I'm talking about starters, and you can only win like that, man, we don't need that, because that shouldn't impact his play calling, where all of the misdirection stuff, the double, you've seen double motion plays, even crisscrossing of players that happened to quarter, all that disappeared. Even when the Saints had their starting 5 offensive linemen back, those plays still wasn't there. They were none of the motion plays that tricked the defense and all that, none of that happened. That shit basically became a Pete Carmichael offense. It literally became that, to the point where people was calling this dude Clint Carmichael and Pete Kubiak.
That is completely psychotic.
But it's true. It is true. They was calling the dude Pete Kubiak and Clint Carmichael. Am I right, fam? Put it in the chat. Put one in the chat. Because they would throw that name. I was like, oh man. But it's offense, all of the fancy razzmatazz, all of the trick plays. We seen one there in the whatchamacallit game. All that stuff just disappeared. It disappeared and never came back. Well, we can't run it because we don't have the players. Well, why you don't have the players? You picked the depth chart. You mean to tell me you can't compensate if you lose this guy, that, and the third? You got to bring a guy that can do a similar skill set. He might not be as talented, but he has the similar skills where you can still be able to use this play. If you miss out on this guy, if he's gone, I still have a speedster I can use end arounds on or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? You just got to know how to build that depth chart so you can be about the business of winning and adjusting. That's what it's about. And if a guy need 90 to 100% of his players, starters to be successful, we don't need that guy, brother. But thank you for that. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, he overrated to me, bro.
Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to you. Brent says Mickey's so sophisticated though, Big Q. Ask Dick Gregory. Come on. Well, let's see what Dick Gregory had to say about Mickey.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, nigga, and I dare motherfucker to come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I want to say
Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Oh man, Boosie had to say, "Oh, come on, bruh." Yeah, that's what we've been on our business for a while on that, man. Man, all I can tell you, fam, is at the end, it's been a long season, but change is necessary, man. And when things like this happen, it just exposed the problems. And I'm so happy that we got to a point where we could see all of the stuff that been going wrong with the team and we could fix it because that's what this is about. So I'm not like a lot of people are like down on the season. Man, I'm not down on the season. This had to happen. All of this had to happen. We had to have this so that we could fix the team, so we can move in the direction that we needed to move in. We needed to do this, so to be competitive moving forward. So we seen them get rid of what's his face, Coach Possum. We seen him get him out of here, despite Mickey Loomis. The thing is, the next thing I can only hope for, if I can get her to just demote, just take the general manager position away from Loomis, give it to Kai, the guy already there. Turn around and make Lauscher a president of something else. So you don't got nothing to do with football and hire a football guy. Man, I was like, man, we heading in the right direction. But the thing is, both the flim flam and the foolishness of both of these professional franchises are so abundant and so apparent that I don't even know if she knows where to look first. Now the Saints will probably get the attention first because the Saints make more money than the Pelicans. So the Saints are the primary situation. We got to get them right. But if she can't get this right, Gil, just sell a team, man. Just sell it. Just sell the damn team. You can't rely on Mickey Loomis to fix the team and not understand that he's the one that hired the possum. He's the one that got you $60 million in the red with bad cap management and poor decision making. He's the reason. So if you can't see that, then you need to just sell the team. I mean, this is not astrophysics. It's not. It's not. None of this is complicated. It really isn't if you know what you're looking at. It's not complicated. Why the Saints $60 million in the red? That's Mickey Loomis. He's the money manager. See, they ain't got a board of people that's doing the decisions. It's one guy it funnels to. So when it funnels to that one guy, it's easy to pinpoint where the problem is. And he is the problem. There would be no Dennis Allen if it wasn't for Mickey Loomis hiring that possum. So, Gail, you don't have to fire Loomis as a VP. Let him keep his VP job. Just take the general manager job away and give it to Kai Harley and let him be the general manager. Just do that. And that would be so great. That'll be so excellent. That way, we don't have to worry about him trying to fit a coach toward keeping contracts that he don't want to get rid of or whatever the case may be. He wants to lock you in on this timeline to get you to 3 years so you get to cap nirvana and make you starve you out because you're not going to be active in free agency and getting cap guys next year, because you got to get down $60 million from the red to the black in 25. And then in 26, based on what you do in 25, the cap money that you got in 26, which is 25 north of $23 million currently, will drop closer to the red from the black, depending on what you do this year. So if you're signing free agents, your own free agents or guys, that default, that kicks it into next year. If you reworking contracts, that flows into next year, and that'll drop that black number of 23 million and 26 down closer to the red and put you closer in cap held in 26. And then when the contracts expire for all of these old ass players like Cam and Tyron and Demario Davis and Taysom Hill and all these guys, then you'll see the money elevate and go up to like 200 million, because a lot of the dead cap money in the contracts from our old players will be gone in 27. Then you go up. So 25 is 60 million in the red. 26, depending on how much you work back down in 25, you're in 20. You right now 23 in the black for 26. Let's get it straight. So based on what you do in 25, it'll drop that number down in 26. And then in 27, you get over 200 million back because the contracts is gone. And so are those players, and you got basically a new team. No Demario, no Tyron, no Carr, no Cam. A lot of these guys gone. So you would basically be starting all over again. And that's what your boy trying to get you to. Okay. All right. Anyway, that's what it is. So anyway, I'm going to leave y'all on that, man. I appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Big ups to everybody, man. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Listen, man. Listen, I will be back tomorrow for the matchup, the game day of season finale for the Saints and Buccaneers. And man, listen, that Friday, what is it? That this Monday coming, man, we're gonna see a lot of movement in the NFL. A lot of coaches is gonna be fired. A lot of moving and shaking going to be going on. And if the Saints are smart, they need to be interviewing these people right now. Mike Vrabel is respectable. John Gruden seems like, man, if you had to do, I probably I'm put a poll up tomorrow on tomorrow's live broadcast and see what you guys say. Who's leading the running in terms of being the Saints' next coach? A lot of people think it's going to be Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn is going to have greener pastures. He still have that connection to the Jets, and I think that's a real thing. The Jets connection could be a real thing for him. The fact that he wouldn't have all these restrictions. The Jets have more of a favorable situation in terms of cap. He can be able to find his own quarterback, bring his own people over there. He doesn't have all the restrictions the Saints have. I think John Gruden probably in their minds, in the twisted mind of Slick Mickey Loomis, believes probably that John Gruden would probably make the most sense, because John Gruden wouldn't bat an eye while working with Derek Carr. He likes Derek Carr. He thinks he's a good quarterback. And there's only one person on God's green earth that can get anything decent out of Derek Carr consistently, and that's John Gruden. That's John Gruden to the fullest. But I don't think John Gruden keep all these old other guys. That's the bottom. I don't think he keep all these old other guys. We'll see, man. We'll see. We got a long time ahead of us, man. We'll see how it all fly. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out on that, man. I appreciate you guys for chiming in the broadcast. Do me a service. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Take the Coma with you, baby, everywhere you go. We'll be back on our Sunday broadcast with the play-by-play, man, the preview, the game, and recap, and all that gravy stuff, man. It's the completion of the regular season tomorrow, man. The final game of the 2024-25 campaign is there. So I like to thank all my super chatters. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you for that. And big ups to the family, man. Y'all hit the like button for me. And I'm going to see y'all on tomorrow's broadcast, man. And we're going to see if the Saints can get a dub, man, and help out the field kinds. We'll see. Much love. I'll let y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat, you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.